I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Wake up, wake up, wake up. That's right. It is time for you to get up and get active with me. Let's go. We made it to another beautiful Friday, and I am excited to be here with all you guys. Unfortunately, that does not include those of you on Facebook because for some strange reason, StreamYard and Facebook are arguing, and I don't like to get in the middle of people's disagreements. So guess what? I ain't gonna. But look at that. I am going to interact with all of you who are joining me on YouTube and on Instagram. What is up? We got Instagram on here once again. I decided I actually liked the experience of having you guys on Instagram joining us last week. And so once again, I'm going to have you with us for the first hour of the show. So let's go ahead. Let's get it rolling. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content, but from a home gym perspective, we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. Plus, we have a lot of fun along the way. I am John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. And if this is your first time checking out this show, thank you so much for giving us a shot. If you are on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you're on Instagram, go ahead, hit the follow button and follow me on Instagram. But also, if you feel so inclined to go over to YouTube and hit subscribe and support what we're doing over there, that's our main hub for everything we do. YouTube is where we do most of our content. It's where we do all of this. That's where the magic happens most of the time. I'm occasionally on Instagram. All right. So if you'd like to see more from Garage Gym Life, head on over to YouTube at Garage Gym Life Media and go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Now, as far as this show goes, I promise you are in for a good time today. So let me go ahead and prove it to you by telling you what's going on. In the first hour, which is now, we're going to have news and other things, plus a brand new Recliner of Rage. So I'll tell you why I'm mad once again this week. And the second hour, we've got Isaac Cisneros and Anna Smith from Thicc and Fit Adventures YouTube channel. They're going to be joining the show to talk about how they're building their YouTube channel from scratch. In the third hour, which will be 8 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, we're going to react and respond. We'll be looking at different things that I've seen on the internet, just in general, and we're going to react to those things together. And then in the final hour, as usual, you guys get to pick the topic. Anything that's home gym related, we can talk about. And that's always a wild time. We never know what the effect will be. In fact, something from You Pick the Topic last week is going to be part of React and Respond this week. So you never know where it's going to go. So now you know what's going on. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Smash the like button now. Hit like whether you are on Instagram or you're watching on YouTube. And then let's go ahead and say hello to everybody who is joining us live. Starting out with everybody who's watching on YouTube. It's my dude, Carlos, at CBS True Consumer Reviews on Instagram, if you guys would like to follow him. And he said, wake up, wake up, wake up, rise and grind. Carlos is the first one in the building. My man said Jinkies. He literally said this is a grown man who said Jinkies. Obvious fan of Velma from Scooby-Doo, but all right, can't knock it, can't knock it. That's what you like. That's what you like. My guy Jared Martin said, let's go. What's up, man? I'm here. We have arrived. All right. And let's see here. Let's see who's next. Carlos said, it's been a while since I haven't watched the show from my TV. I'm at the park enjoying this decent weather. Cardio, baby. Hey, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Let me see. I don't want to make up anything. I am 55 days into, and I'm bringing this up because Carlos actually asked me, he asked me periodically, hey, you still getting your 10,000 steps in? So I had, life happened. And so I, basically I can miss one day every 6 days. and something happened, and I ended up missing 2 days in a row. I still walked, but I just didn't get 10,000 steps. So I am currently 55 days in to 55 days straight of not missing. And so I'm pretty happy about that. But anyway, hey, man, I'm glad you're able to get out there, get active in the beautiful Houston weather. Let's see. We got the Hoppy Lifter joining us on Instagram. What's up, my man? Winborn MD joined. John underscore what WTF please. Holscher, I hope I said that correctly, has joined. The Icebox Gym has joined, and CrossFit Amygdala has joined. What's up to all of you guys? You guys are, and then we got Nadia is not quite awake apparently. Said Z Nadia ZZZ joined. Welcome. Well, thank you guys for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. I'm looking to my right because that's where Instagram is, because of the quirks of the platform. I can't look this way and see the comments from Instagram like I can the comments on YouTube. So I got to look over here if I want to see what y'all say. So if you guys would like to add to the show, ask any questions, go ahead and throw them in there. All right. Now, let's see who else we got here. Eric Echoes, Icebox Gym in 2 places at once. Said, good morning. Good morning. What's up, man? Let's see here. Then we got my man Rob from Vintage Weights PGH. Rob, I've been trying to watch your York barbell review video. Let's see. Okay. I just saw this from, let's see something here. Let's check something. Let's check something. Test. All right. So Home Gym Physique said the audio seems off today. So first of all, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Is it distorted or is it just too quiet? Let me know what it is, because I want you guys to be able to hear what I'm saying. I do have the AC on, so, and that's pretty loud. So Carlos said my mic sounds nice. So now there's a disagreement. So let's try this. All right, we're gonna echo cancellation, reduce background noise, but let me raise my mic volume just a little bit and see if that helps. So you guys let me know. I just increased my volume just a touch. I know Matthew Digman said he can hear me just fine, and Jake said it's just not as crisp. Okay, I would say it's probably because I've got the AC going. Tell you what, let me do this. There we go. I know, you know what? I've got a remote control for the AC, and of course, it's all the way over there. So I'm having to lean over and manually do it. First world problems. Okay, so there we go. It sounds like I'm using a phone instead of a microphone. All right, so let's make that adjustment there. I just adjusted my settings a little bit. Hopefully you guys can, hopefully that is better. What I like about this so far is I'm getting all of these analogies for how I sound. So it is, some of y'all are showing your age. Okay, so Home Gym Physique said I sound like I'm speaking from inside my cupboard. So shout out to The Indian in the Cupboard. Very good movie from back in the 80s. And then we've got Man Who Parks in Gym said it sounds like you're talking through a tin can on a string, which I assume Rob probably prefers because of his, you know, Rob likes the vintage thing, right? Let's see here. Matt from the UK says, good morning, USA. Come on, Matthew. What's up, man? And let's see. But Carlos says that my mic sounds nice. However, Carlos is using his expensive headphones. So that could be it too. Now, scroll on down here. So there we go. So now, Matt, what do you even know about 8-tracks, Matthew? Matt says it sounds like an 8-track. What do you even know about 8-tracks? That's hilarious. You're too young to even know. You probably think CDs are vintage. You're a kid. Anyway, that's right. I told you. Indian Undercover 1995. I thought it was on the 80s. He said, I had her on VHS, sir. Hey, don't you knock the VHS. Don't you knock VHS tapes. What you know about Betamax and PAL? Anyway, so as I said, we're already 10 minutes into the show and have already hit our first tangent. I love it. Anyway, so now that we know who's here, let's go. Let's see. We got more people who joining us from Instagram. Dad Shredded. Hey, what's up, man? A Primal Life joined. He says, LOL. Are you laughing at my pain, man? Well, you're in the right place because you're going to get another opportunity to do exactly that just a little bit later. Matt says, I'm nearly 40. That's cute. He said that like that means you're a grown up. Nah, man. You're nearly 40. Okay? Let me put it this way. If you're 40 years old, anybody watching this who's 40 years old, I was 11 when you were born. Okay? Respect your elders. Anyway, now that you know what's on today's show, as I said, smash the like button for me. You've probably seen enough to know whether or not this is for you or whether it's not. There's 586 of you guys watching right now on YouTube. I'm not sure how many of you are watching on Instagram, but I appreciate everybody who has joined. So let's go ahead without further delay. Let's dive into our first segment, which is news and other things. Let's go! Okay, so the first thing that is a news item is Fringe Sport is having an online garage sale, and I actually just went onto the Fringe Sport online garage sale this morning because I wanted to. Why else would I go on there? I wanted to buy something, right? But unfortunately, I guess this is technically not Recliner. This is technically not Recliner of Rage, but I'm still upset about it because all the stuff I wanted is gone. I noticed that Eric Carpenter was able to buy what he wanted. Everybody else is able to buy what they want. How come what I want's gone? Okay. I don't want I was looking for an adjustable flat incline decline bench, and I wanted it specifically from Fringe Sport. But, and I grant you, probably the Falcon benches, I think it's actually been sold out for a little bit longer than just this sale. But I don't care. The fact of the matter is, I wanted it today. The sale is going on now. When I saw online garage sale, I said, oh, shoot, perfect time. Let's get the Falcon bench. Guess who can't get the Falcon bench? Because the Falcon bench ain't available. All I have available is the version 2 Econo adjustable bench. Well, I don't want the version 2 Econo adjustable bench. I don't even know if this thing, it's got 7 back positions. Is one of them decline? And I know the Falcon bench doesn't decline either. I don't care. Just work with me, all right? The fact is, I had Falcon bench in my mind, and I went to it, and I got mad because I saw it wasn't, and I went to the online garage sale because I clicked on it, and I saw the Falcon bench wasn't available. This is the only bench that I saw. Let me see. I'm going to, in fairness, let's go looking. Let's look. Let's go, okay? The Fatty Comp flat bench is still there. Chocolate and vanilla 10-pound donut plates are still there. J cups are still there. The Fringe Sport 3x3 pinpipe safeties are still there. You can even get a multi-grip Swiss barbell. But you know what you can't get? A Falcon bench, which is what I want. That's what I want. So I feel personally attacked because what I want has sold out. You know what? That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Anyway, the rest of you who probably don't care about anything I just said because you don't care about my pain, you're probably laughing, some of you, because that's how callous you are. You all you care about is that there's anything still left. You save up to 50%. You guys can see some of the stuff. Like if you want to get the Dane 1.0, it's 15% off. I don't have any affiliate codes with Fringe Sport. I'm just telling you it's available. Despite the fact that what I want's not available, I'm being a bigger person than that. I'm being a better human. And I'm telling you that you can go get what you want if it's available. Go check out Fringe Sports online garage sale. I do support Peter Keller and what they're doing over at Fringe Sport. I love the transparency they're showing with the tariff situation, and I love how Peter got out in front of things. And to be honest with you, I like their products. I still have on my schedule to go visit Fringe Sport this year, and I'm looking forward to taking my wife because the first time I went there with our oldest son, and we still have stuff from that purchase. Oh man, I think that was like maybe 2017, 2018. We did a video. The video's on the YouTube channel where we did a tour. It was at their old location, and I want to go see their new location. And this time, my wife Naomi is going to go with me, so I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, as I said, you guys go ahead, definitely support Fringe Sport and what they're doing, especially since they've got this online garage sale that's going on where you can save on the stuff that you were going to buy anyway. You just can't buy a Falcon bench. And I can't buy, the only other thing that I was really interested in is a silverback rubber-coated dumbbells, but I can't buy those right now. I mean, you guys can, but I can't buy them right now because one of the rules, my wife and I both use the home gym, one of the rules is you don't make a big purchase if both of us have not seen the item. All right? It's one thing if a company sends something to us to review or whatever, because then we're not paying for it, right? But if we're actually going to go out and spend money, it's big purchases. We make all big purchases for our home together. And so my wife didn't have a chance to check out the silverback dumbbells. She won't get a chance to check them out until Home Gym Con. So I can't buy these either. You know what? You ever feel persecuted? You ever feel like the world is against you? Well, I feel like that right now. I feel like that right now. I swear. Anyway. Hold up a second. Are people talking about? Hold up a second here. Carlos said, "Yeah, bless your heart." Yeah, Matt's a child, man. Talking about I'm nearly 40. You know what I mean? Like when people who are under 40 years old start talking to me and they start talking about how old they are, it sounds like to me, I see them and they hold a lollipop. You know what I mean? While they're talking to me, like, come on, man, you just started wearing long pants. All right. Anyway, let's see. Michael Brantley, what's up, man? He said, "Morning. What's up? The West Coast is in the building." And Eric said, "I'm almost 40 and my wife was 11 when I was born." Dude, you know, it's one of those things that where you try not to think about it. All right. You try not to think about it, you know. But hey, you know, your wife likes a younger man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, she's walking around with candy in her pocket and you go ahead and you jumped in the van with her. You know, now you guys are happily married. It worked out. Let's see. Carlos said that's almost rage-worthy. Exactly. You get your hopes set up, all raised, and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go buy this thing. I'm waiting for this specific event to happen." You go check it out, boom, and it's gone. The thing you want is gone. The stuff for everybody else is there, but the stuff you want is gone. And I'm supposed to be okay with that? Well, I'm not. Anyway, I see, Eric Carpenter. Despite the fact that you got what you wanted at the Fringe Sport online garage sale, you don't care about my pain, but you're here to talk junk to just rub in my face that you got what you wanted. Talking about vanilla bumpers. If you got kids, they love them. Nah, Cart. I saw you. I saw your Instagram post. I know what you got. I saw your joy. Enough of that. Matt says you're just angry because I'm still pretty. Matt, you know, I'm trying to say this nicely. I could cut my attractiveness potential in half and still be twice as good looking as you. Okay, let's just say that. In fact, I told my wife not that long ago, I'm a good looking dude, right? I mean, y'all can see me, so you know it. But I told my wife, it was like last month, so I need to tell her again. I was like, you know, I love you. You know, I was talking to my wife. I said, "Baby, I love you so much that I am genuinely happy for you that you are with me. Because you hit the jackpot. Just look at this. Just look at it. I'm so happy for her. Every time I think about the fact that she gets to be with me for the rest of her life, I get even more excited for her. That's just awesome. That's so awesome for her. Anyway, Home Gym Gaines checking in from Japan. What's up, man? Hey, he said, "What's up, guys? Just checking in before I finish work." I was Kevin. I was checking out your your video about the Rit and I didn't get to finish it because I had to start doing my show prep this morning. So I'm going to be checking that out when I'm walking today, though. So I'm actually intrigued because you said people were wrong about what they said about the Rit 2-in-1 hack squat leg press combo. And so now you got my I don't have one and I don't plan on getting one, but now you got my curiosity aroused. I just want to check it out. Jared said it'd be hilarious if I started the Recliner of Rage segment exactly the same way as this started with Fringe. You know what? I didn't even plan on raging out, but I just feel like this is a safe space, and I just want to let y'all know how unhappy I am about the situation economically, in the marketplace with Fringe Sport and not having what I want when I want to go buy it. I got a shout out. Hey, always time. So Kevin said, shout out to John, that's me, for sharing some ideas that led to my Rit Fit review today. Hey, man, it's my pleasure, man. The whole point of what I do is to help other people out, especially if they're trying to do what I do. I remember when I first started doing this, I didn't necessarily get the same level of support from people that I wanted. When I will reach out to people, I got ghosted quite a bit, and I just said, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be a better, I'm going to be the change. That sounds corny, but I said, I'm going to be the change. So I appreciate it, and I'm happy to help you out. I love what you're doing over there on your YouTube channel. Matt says a safe place for me, but I just get abused whenever I come in. I do not abuse you every time. Pause. First of all, pause. But I do not give you abuse every time you come in here. Welcome. I'm glad to have you represent the UK, man. I'm glad. It's not just you either. Isn't Home Gym Physique in the UK? It's just both of you. This is both, that's two of you. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. All right, let's move on to the next item. So Elite FTS is having a 20% off mini band sale. Now, I want you guys to know, once again, I do not have an affiliate link with Elite FTS. I'm just telling you guys this because I genuinely like this stuff, right? So don't worry, I have an affiliate link. I have affiliate link information coming later on in the show, in this hour. Okay, if you want to know affiliate links, I got them for you. You just be patient. Hang on. All right. But the Elite FTS is having a mini band sale, right? And what I like about Elite FTS resistance bands in general, this is my preferred source for them, is because other brands may do it, but Elite FTS is the only one that I found that consistently does this. They actually show the level of band tension in the bands, right? So let's go here. So right here you see like this Elite FTS Pro Mini Resistance Band, okay? And regular price is $10.25 for this one. You get it in like $8, and it'll be $8.20 US. Ships in one business day. The point is, that's not the point. The point is that it tells you, you're scrolling down here, and you guys can see is not only does it have the length, the width, and the thickness and all that, but it also tells you right down here at the bottom, 25.5 to 53.8 pounds of tension. And they do that for their resistance bands. So I like that because, like I said, they do that on all of their resistance bands. And in fact, this is not on sale because these aren't mini bands, but the Elite FTS Ultimate Band Pack actually has a full chart showing the band tension in pounds. Okay. And I just think that is something that is worthwhile because a lot of times you get resistance bands, especially when they look like they're roughly the same, you can't tell like, okay, well, what's this one versus this one, right? And if you're trying to I use resistance bands primarily for mobility work, but if you want to get them to use them for dynamic tension or for anything like that, you need to know how many, like what the resistance tension is, because I believe in progressive resistance as one of the components of progress. And I think that you have a better chance of doing that if you actually know how much tension you're putting on, how much tension you're adding to an exercise with the resistance band. So to me, the fact that Elite FTS actually tells you what the amount of tension is in their resistance bands instead of you just kind of having to figure it out. Like way too many sites make you do is, I think, a plus. And that's why they are actually my go-to. Now, I have resistance bands that are not from Elite FTS, but as I mentioned to you guys, I think maybe early last year, that's because I wasn't buying those. People were just sending them to me because for some reason they thought they just needed to include resistance bands with every single thing I bought. Like, hey, I didn't ask for resistance bands show up, and I'm like, I did not ask for resistance band. What is this? Right? And that's the old hanging on thing. So now what I do, I've actually got it down to a manageable level, but if we get too many resistance bands in the house, what I start doing is I basically give them away, right? So anytime somebody buys equipment from me, or if I'm giving equipment to somebody to help them get their home gym started, I always include resistance bands with it. Like, here you go, just get this stuff out of my house, and it's gonna help you out anyway, right? And that's pretty much what I do. If it ever gets really bad, then everybody who comes to the house for any reason gets one resistance band as a parting gift. When you're leaving, you get a resistance band. Thanks for coming over. Here you go. Take this resistance band with you. If you don't want to take it, I just stick it in your car when you ain't looking. Because I do what I got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do. Let's see. Carp has a code. He says you could use code Table Talk to save 10%. Well, there you go. All right. I don't have an affiliate code. That does not help me out at all. But shout out to Carp. I'm pretty sure that's just the discount code for Table Talk or whatever. But yeah, you guys use code Table Talk and you save 10%. Shout out to Table Talk, by the way. I really like that series. I think they have a great mix of guests. They have interesting conversations. I don't always agree with what they say, but that's not a prerequisite for listening to intelligent conversation. Agreement is not a prerequisite for listening. I know some of y'all may not know that, given the way the internet works, but you don't have to agree with everything you hear. Okay? I'm just throwing it out there. Not shots fired at anybody. I'm just throwing it out there. You don't have to agree with everything you listen to. Okay? All right. Kurt Locker is here. He says, here, just got off a run. What's up, man? Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Once again. All right. Now, coincidentally, the next item relates to something that video that you just posted a comment on, and that is Tim Stewart's open trap bar video. So Tim just did a review of the Bells of Steel open trap bar. And like I said, I saw that Kurt commented on it because he was saying that he's had his loaded up to over 500 pounds. Bells of Steel, I'll just say this. Bells of Steel is doing a push right now on the open trap bar. So you're going to be seeing a lot of content about the open trap bar in the month of May. Hey, what's up, Ashley? Ashley the Amazing has joined. What's up? Christopher Wallace. Christopher Wallace just joined. That's Biggie. Can't you see? What's up, man? A legend, a hip hop legend has joined. What's up? Anyway, but as I was saying, Bells of Steel has a big push that they're going to be putting on their open trap bar. So Ashley's joined on YouTube too. Hey, what's up, 332? Gotta get you back on the show soon. And so you're going to see a lot of reviews from content creators about the open trap bar. And so, I can say, as far as the open trap bar goes, I did my first video on it, April 7th, I'm looking at the thing here. Yeah, it says April 7th, 2023. So that's when I first got the open trap bar, and in fact, that's not when I first got it, but this is when I published my first YouTube short on it, which is this. And I don't I don't know how much I've put on it myself, but I know in this video that you guys are watching right now, I went up to 405 because I was literally testing it out. And I know that there's some concern because the sleeves are so short, and that's actually something I brought up to Bells of Steel, where I was like, hey, I personally prefer the industrial trap bar, which they discontinued because the sleeves were so long that it made shipping too expensive. But I would prefer the option of the industrial trap bar from Bells of Steel. Now there are some brands that have, like Rep Fitness has a rackable. Like I personally don't care about having to rack my trap bar, as long as it's got the kickstand so I can stand it up. Because I don't use a trap bar for squatting. Okay, and I don't bench press. I'm sorry, I don't do overhead presses with a trap bar. But I know for you guys who do, that's something that is important to you. But my point is the rackable trap bars tend to be a little bit longer. So anyway, this is my first YouTube short with my Bells of Steel open trap bar. And this is from April 7th, 2023. And then my review came out the next day on April 8th. So I'm going to put the link to watch that if you guys are interested in it in the description for this video on YouTube. But I'll say that the thing that surprised me the most, and it led to me publishing this video about a month after I did the review, is I started getting requests or things from people where they're like they couldn't figure out how. So I use 100-pound plates with the trap bar, and they couldn't figure out how to get the last plate off, because when you have the Bells of Steel, because the sleeves are so short and it's narrow, you have one plate. It does this even with a 45, right? And so people are like, well, how do I get the plate off? I can't figure it out. And I'm like, seriously? So I end up doing a YouTube short. I was like, just hold the plate still and slide the bar out, because people were having trouble because they were trying to slide the bar off of the trap bar. I'm not even making that up, right? And so you guys can't hear what I'm obviously what I'm saying because I've got YouTube muted, but it's just funny to me. Like people were like going and they're like, oh, I can't get it off of there. I'm like, well, just hold the plate still and just drag the bar out, and there you go. So anyway, but that's from May of 2023, and that is honestly the only thing that has come up so far with the Bells of Steel open trap bar that I can say is the negative. Nothing else about it really bothers me at all. Okay, so here we go. So Carb Jim said he said he had 675 on the fringe open trap bar, but they had to use the weighted out plates to get that much weight on there with the short sleeves. Yeah, that to me is like the biggest problem with the short sleeves, and it's actually something that I asked Andrew from Bells of Steel. I was like, man, how much weight can you? He said, well, we've had it loaded up to over 700 pounds if you're using iron plates. And I'm not a big bumper plates person, right? So a lot of the times the things that people kind of like are concerned about have to do with the use of bumper plates. And I don't particularly, like, that's not something that bothers me. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't use bumper plates. And Jared says that he likes trap bars for RDLs if you can get it rackable. I say, to be honest with you, I actually use it for RDLs all the time. I just stand up first. Like I don't like pull it off. Now I remember you said that you had like back issues, Jared, but I literally would just stand up first, and I just do a normal deadlift, and then I start from the top with the RDL. So even if you don't have the long sleeves, to me, I feel like you can still do RDLs and things like that. Shout out to the 920 of you who are watching right now. Appreciate you guys for being here. I missed y'all last week. I know it was Good Friday. I missed y'all last week though, but thank you for being back. And do me a favor, hit like for me so we can get this thing rolling. All right. But in any case, as going back to the Bells of Steel trap bar, I still like it. About roughly 2 years later, I haven't noticed any issues. Tim mentioned he had questions about how the black oxide coating holds up. I haven't noticed any issues with the coating, but that's not something that I was like, oh, unless something starts chipping, I don't pay any attention to it, to be honest with you, right? And I haven't noticed anything like that with my Bells of Steel open trap bar, but I will. That's going to be something that I cover in my follow-up video, and that's coming up not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So I brought all of that up to say I need you guys to put comments and let me know if you want to know anything specific about the Bells of Steel open trap bar, and I can answer those questions. Like I said, I've had it for 2 years, and I'm still a fan of it. Meantime, if you guys want to grab one, I told you there's an affiliate link coming, so you can grab one by clicking, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on Instagram and you want to go to YouTube to do this, you can click the YouTube shopping button that's in the bottom corner, or you can use our affiliate link, which I just posted in the live chat. It won't do anything as far as altering the price or anything, but it just gives me credit with Bells of Steel for kind of like making you guys aware, spreading the word about, like, I'm the reason why you went to their site to go shopping, right? So there you go. So that's a good way for you to support the channel that doesn't cost you anything extra. So there we go. Moving on to the next item. Hold on. Jared just said something. I said, John, on your Bells of steel row pad, he said, turn my pad around so the thinner side is closer to the upright. Seems to be better for me, just an FYI. To be honest with you, I don't really, that's good info, Jared. I haven't really noticed any issues. The person, ironically, who's had the most issues with the Bells of Steel row pad in this house is my wife. And I say ironically because she's the reason we got it in the first place. Because when we were at Home Gym Con 1, the very first Home Gym Con, that's where I saw it, right? I was familiar with the Pritchett pad from Rogue. I might have seen another one, but it wasn't really on my radar. And because I was like, we have 2 benches at the house. What do we need this for, right? That's just how I think. Because, I'm that old man who's yelling, get off my lawn, kid. You kids get off my lawn with all your innovations. But anyway, so Kat from Bells of Steel demonstrated the pad to my wife, and she was like, oh, I like that, right? So when we had the opportunity to, Kayvon actually came on the show before Home Gym Con 2, and after he came on the show, we were just having a conversation, and he asked me if there's anything I wanted to review from their stuff. And I said, I'd like to check out the Seal Row pad because I remembered that my wife liked it, right? So anyway, the point is we get the Seal Row pad. She doesn't use it. I ended up liking it, and she doesn't use it because she said it's just awkward for her to put on. So that would be like the biggest thing that is the obstacle for us. And by us, I mean her. But we a team. So if it's an obstacle for my wife, it's an obstacle for me too. Like, I don't mind putting it on for her and taking it off, but that's she started working out really early in the mornings. And so, like, for example, she was working out while I was doing show prep for this. So I'm obviously not downstairs to put it on if she happened to want to use it. I'm obviously not downstairs to put it on there for her. You know what I mean? So that is the only obstacle. Neither one of us has any major issues with the thinner. I know some people don't like having the pad too close to the upright, but that's honestly not something that's bothering me. I have been looking at the Infinity pad. I think that's what they call it. From Exponent Edge. Now I got to find out because it's gonna bother me if I don't look it up. The Infinity Arm. The Infinity Arm. All right. So I've been looking at the Infinity Arm from Exponent Edge because I like the fact that it articulates, right? What the heck is, oh, universally, I'm not interested. All right. I like how it articulates, right? So the thing I don't like about the Steel Row pad from Bells of Steel is pretty much you're limited to one angle. But I like how on the, you guys see right there, the Infinity Arm articulates, and so I really like that. But haven't pulled the trigger on that because I am actually thinking about. And by thinking about, I mean I'm just about 90% convinced to get it. Is the Infinity Bench, which to me will serve roughly the same function. Why haven't I bought that? Because again, my wife hasn't seen it because I saw it in person at Home Gym Con 2, and she wasn't able to be there because my daughter had a cheerleading competition. She was in the championships, and so my wife had to be with her in Florida during Home Gym Con. So we got the Silverback dumbbells and we got the Infinity Bench that she's got to check out at Home Gym Con this year, and we'll see if we're going to go ahead and add that to our gym. I hope so. Because I really want to. Ashley's vouching for the Infinity Arm though. She says she loves hers. So there you go. That's good enough for me. But yeah, to your point about the Bells of Steel Steel Row pad, that's the only issue I've had with it is that the lack of the articulating pad. Jared, appreciate the info though. All right. Real quick before I switch over to Recliner of Rage, we've got we're going to be live from Home Gym Con. I've told you guys that before. And we want you guys in the audience. Everybody, all of you who are watching on Instagram, we're doing this show. It's already live all the time, but I'm saying like we want you guys to be in the audience live in front of us, right? With a live studio audience. That's what I want, right? And I need to get as accurate a head count as possible. So I've put the link for you guys to just give me a heads up and say whether you're thinking about being there. All right. We're not getting married. It's not a commitment. I just need to get a rough idea because I plan to I want to do we're doing raffles, and I'm also trying to get some stuff together to bring for you guys, and I need to know how much to bring. So I need to just make sure that we bring enough. And if we don't get enough people, basically, if I bring more than I need, I can always use it the next year. But if I don't bring enough, then that's going to be a headache for me trying to, go back around and say, oh, well, let me order some more and make sure I ain't trying to do all that. So please do me a favor, go to our Sign Up Genius link and just sign up. We've already got some people signed up, but we don't have nearly enough people signed up for this event. All you got to do is go to Sign Up Genius. And the link for that is in the description on YouTube. It is in the description. It is in my Instagram bio. I've only got 7 people signed up right now. I'm looking at it. And so I need you guys. Now, some of you guys are bringing a guest. So we're probably up to like between 14 and 20 people now. But still, do me a favor. Go sign up to be at Home Gym Con at this show at Home Gym Con. And per you guys' request, the show is going to end about 30 minutes early that day so that everybody has time to get downstairs or wherever we're going to be in relationship to the expo. So you guys can get to the expo on time. So let's see here. One more thing. Jared says, I do think the bells is, well, hold up. Jared says, I definitely agree that better steel rope pad attachments. I don't currently need a lot more adjustability in mine, and it wouldn't be worth the upgrade cost for me. But I do think the bells of steel rope pad is solid. It's simple and effective, and maybe on the smaller side. So the storage is easier, which is important for me. That is a good point. I do like that. It's very easy. I actually just store it on my rack, on the back of the rack. So that is that's very convenient for me. So I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, something else you need to do at home regarding Home Gym Con is reserve your room. And you need to do it through the link at Home Gym Con if you want to get the room discount. Now, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do this real fast because I told Jake, I'm having Jake come on next week to give us an update, but I wanted to make sure I brought this point up. So it's a nice place. The Gold House Hotel is a historic landmark. The point is, you click the link and you can and you'll get the rate. So you go here, it'll give you, whatever, it shows you a promotional rate. Here is why you're like, oh, well, I still got time. Okay, listen to me. Look, this is advice, all right? Helpful advice from somebody who's been there before. Do not wait till the last minute before you reserve a room. You can reserve your room with the Gold House without having to pay any money, okay? If you end up not going to Home Gym Con, all you gotta do is cancel your room before Home Gym Con starts, and you won't have to pay any money, okay? But you need to reserve your room. Number one, that helps Jake out because the hotel, if he wants to go back next year, this is actually when the hotel is going to be asking him. I literally just talked to him 2 days ago about this. This is when the hotel is asking him if he wants to also come back the next year and how many rooms he needs. All right. So the reality is you guys need to help him out by reserving your rooms now. Now, what's in it for you? Double queens are what you want if you're going to be going there with someone who you are not romantically involved with. Okay? So let's say you're husband and wife and you're taking your kids and you want them to not all sleep in the same bed with you. You and your buddy are going and you don't want to spoon with him. Okay? All right? You want a good sized bed. Double queens, that's what you want. Well, those sell out fast. All right? I remember last year, I told you guys that last year, Home Gym Con, my wife couldn't go. Well, we originally had planned on just having one king bed because, why get married if you don't sleep in the same bed, right? Well, then she couldn't go. And so Tim from Gym Crafter agreed to go because he wanted to go. And I was like, well, I can get you in the Home Gym Con if you help me out with all of the filming, basically what my wife would help me with. He said, sure. However, neither Tim nor I had any intention of sleeping in the same bed. So what I ended up having to do was pay extra for a cot. So we had a king bed, and then Tim's 6 foot, I think he's 6'8", had to sleep on a fold-out cot. Okay, that's not living your best life. Okay, so go reserve your rooms now, and especially if you want a queen, a double queen, because you can, like I said, it doesn't cost you anything. And if you end up not being able to go, you can always cancel. Okay. Now, I do have a question for those of you who know you're going to be attending Home Gym Con. Have you reserved a room? And if you have not reserved a room yet, what is holding you back? I can understand people who don't know if they're going to go at all, but for people who know they're going, what makes you guys wait? Because I usually get my room as soon as they're available because I know I'm not paying for it, right? I don't have to pay for it till we actually leave. So yeah. So I am interested in that. Go ahead, drop some comments and let me know. That's just interesting for me. And since Jake is going to be on the show next week, I would love to have that data to share with him and discuss with him during our conversation when he gives us the update. So you guys let me know if you've got your room. And if you have not gotten your room yet, let me know, kind of like what's stopping you from pulling the trigger. All right. Now, it is time. That's right. It is time to quote Cypress Hill. Time for some action because it is time for the most popular segment of this show, and that is Recliner of Rage. Let's go.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage because he's not happy.
Today's Recliner of Rage, because no, I'm not happy. Today's Recliner of Rage is dedicated to the fact that Fernando, y'all know Fernando. Those of you who don't know Fernando, we against Fernando. All Fernandos anywhere. All right, Fernando snuck in my gym while I was grabbing some water, apparently, and adjusted the height of my monolith arms. So, here we go. I was vulnerable because I was feeling good because I had done some behind the neck presses. Hadn't done those in a while, and I didn't even know really This was all experimental. I was like, how much weight can I actually even do? So this is 135 pounds. I'm feeling good about myself. So, oh, shoot, I can still do 135 pounds behind the neck. I literally have not done behind the neck press in maybe 2 years, okay? Maybe like a random one here or there, but I haven't actually done behind the neck press in like 2 years, right? So I'm feeling good, feeling nice, feeling fine, feeling young, feeling fresh, feeling looking handsome. And then I said, all right, well, let's go ahead. Let's hit up some, hit some cable laterals with the Bells of Steel Tower. There we go. All right. Workout's still going good. All right. The teams, and plus we have the NFL draft on in here in the gym. So the teams I hate didn't make good picks, and the team I love did make a good pick. Everything is right with the world. Everything's right with the world. Well, this is when it went bad. Okay. Because I go to do what's next on the menu, which is incline bench. And I decided I'm going to use my Garage Gorilla Bar. Okay? Here we go. Look at that. Do you see that? Clear case of sabotage. Do you see that? Clear case of sabotage. Because I would never have done that. I would never. Hold on. Let's look at that one more time. Look how they try to take your hero out. All right, I sit down. I'm at home. I'm supposed to be safe there. Whoa, look at that. What in the world? What in the world, Bobby? Come on, man. Shout out. Come on, Fernando. Stay out my house. Anyway, I went ahead. I finished. None of this is important. All right, I finished the set. Okay, but still, seriously. So what I have then, and I got, I talked to our Cane Corso about security and not letting people in the house, because I'm still, because I know I wouldn't have done that to myself. So it had to be Fernando. Okay. And so once again, we against Fernando. Not only is Fernando, let me just give you all a recap, because some of y'all don't know who Fernando is. I went to the local, I don't normally shop at Vitamin World, but I went to the local Vitamin World because I run out of my favorite pre-workout and I needed some pre-workout. I get there and this dude who's supposed to be helpful shows up and I don't remember his name. So I just started calling him Fernando, and he pretended he was being helpful. And I'm like, hey man, I want some pre-workout. He said, hey, can I help you? I said, yeah, I want some pre-workout. He said, okay. And I said, yeah, I'm looking for some 1MR. He said, I've never heard it. And he walked away. So I just picked one out. I said, oh, okay. I picked one. I said, well, that looks like it's good. All right. And it definitely wasn't. I got the junk back to the house. It tasted like warm snot. Threw it away. And so I decided I got a hate relationship with Fernando. And to make it worse, my mom still goes to that vitamin shop, Vitamin World, Vitamin Shop. I don't care. My mom still goes there. And every time I get sick, this same dude, because she tells me who it is, this same dude will give her these products that she'll then bring home and make me take. He gave her like some spicy oregano thing that I was supposed to put it under my tongue. It burnt my tongue. Okay, and like it didn't actually burn my tongue, but I mean it was burning. I was like, and it tastes horrible. I'm like, what is this? And my daughter was like, when we went back over there, I was trying to get something, and she tried to stop me, like, don't talk to that dude. Don't talk to that dude. I said, who? And then we walked out, and she was like, she's 9 years old, right? She said, Daddy, that's Fernando. I've been here with Grandma. That's Fernando. You shouldn't have taken his advice. So now I know Fernando's out to get me, and that's why I'm against Fernando. So now on this show, anything that goes wrong, and feel free, if something goes wrong in your gym, blame Fernando. Just blame Fernando, because that dude gets active. He gets active. He's all over the place. All right. And that's why we don't like Fernando, because Fernando is the reason why stuff like this happens. This stuff like this right here happens. Just watch. Look how your hero, look at that. I almost didn't get to talk to Thicc and Fit Adventures today. I almost didn't get to talk to them because of Fernando. Ridiculous. Oh, no, I am mad. I think maybe I used up some of my rage on the fringe sport thing, because I'm still actually partially mad about that. Okay. But don't you worry. I am mad about that. All right. Anyway, so it is now 6:54. We've got our first guest coming up. I see you guys backstage. So that's building the anticipation and excitement. So we're going to be talking to Thicc and Fit Adventures soon. Did you just say be the butterfly? Jared, Don't you remember that this is a no butterfly zone? You remember that? We've talked about this. This is a no butterfly zone. We don't do butterflies, Jared. We don't. But I forgive you. It's been a minute. I had to remind you. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys who are watching on Instagram. Thank you for checking it out. We're going to keep this going on YouTube, but due to Instagram constraints, I got to cut you guys loose on Instagram. We are keeping the party going on YouTube, so I invite you guys to join us over on my YouTube channel. We still have my guests, Anna and Isaac from Thicc and Fit Adventures coming up. In fact, I see them backstage, so they're coming up next. Plus, we got a few more segments, so I hope to see you guys there. All right. Now it is 6:56, close enough to 7 for me. So let's go ahead and let's call it 7 a.m. and say shout out to the Central Time Zone. Appreciate you guys being here, checking us out, hanging out with us here on YouTube. And if you are already a subscriber and you want to support the channel, then there is something else that I need you to do besides just being a subscriber and watch.
Hey, I don't want you to just watch this video. I need you to like, subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, I want you to join our channel for 99 cents a month so you can help us improve YouTube for the home gym community. Okay, back to the video.
And once again, shout out to all of you guys who ordered the Garage Gorilla bar. That bar is, you guys just saw me using it in the video with the incline bench. I actually used it for barbell curls last night as well. It's a beautiful collaboration between Garage Gym Life and Gorilla Strength, and I'm truly a fan of how the bar feels and performs. It is the only true 45-pound knurled axle bar. Total length is 80 inches. It's got an 1,800-pound working load capacity. Now, it will require axle bar collars. The knurling is medium aggressive, but it's really elbow friendly. And we mentioned already how I'm in my 50s, so I need things that are elbow friendly in my life. But from a training and performance perspective, the extra surface area of the bar, because it's got a 2-inch diameter bar, it gives you greater connection to the bar, lets you articulate your hands in a way that's more comfortable to your shoulders. And I like the fact that it's actually harder to use than a regular barbell because the sleeves don't spin. So in my opinion, it gives you an awesome training effect. The link to grab one is in the description for this video here on YouTube. And just make sure you allow about 2 weeks lead time when you place your order, and David will get one out to you. All right, so now let's go ahead and add our friends over on LinkedIn, and we're gonna get them started in a second right here. Go ahead and boom. All right. So welcome to everybody who just joined us from LinkedIn. My next guests are Isaac and Anna from the Thicc and Fit Adventures YouTube channel. Thicc and Fit Adventures is a really interesting channel. They have a background owning a CrossFit box. Isaac is a firefighter, and they coach people. I'm really, really excited, especially whenever I see somebody start a new YouTube channel, because I love to see, like, where they are in terms of like what their vision is for their journey, where it's going to take them and all that. And so I'm really excited to hear about them and what they're doing over there. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring Isaac and Anna on right now. You guys ready? Thumbs up. Just stare. Uh-oh. Did you freeze? Are you good? I can't see you. Thumbs up. All right, good. We're good. All right. All right. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Well, welcome to the show, Isaac and Anna. Everybody give a warm welcome. What up?
Morning.
Good morning.
What's up? Thank you for joining me all the way from New Mexico. All right.
Yeah.
What's up?
How's the audio on this?
It's okay, but you guys are freezing a little bit. So it's like your image is like you're frozen right now, which is
Okay.
fine because you look permanently happy. So that's okay. All right, they are okay.
All right.
Yeah, so it's jumping a little bit.
Okay.
But hey, that's okay. We'll push through it. I think everybody. Can you guys? So well, you've already got the first comment. Kurt Locker, Statty Daddy himself,
What's up, Kurt?
our representative from the Hair Force, said he's been enjoying your content, so that's good. And Carp said he's watched your stuff. He said you got the FM Twin and a sauna over there. He said home gym goals. So that's good because those are two topics that we're going to be talking about. So we're off to a good start. All right. We're off to a good start. So just like your YouTube channel. And let's start there. Your channel's off to, I told you, it's off to a pretty strong start. Did the two of you storyboard, record any of the videos like ahead of time? Or are you basically like shooting as you go along and ideas occur? You're like, hey, let's just shoot. Hey, let's do a video about this.
Yeah, so we just decided to start. For myself personally, I got into the creation. I've always been into recording and messing around with the camera equipment and the audio and just having a good time with that and just being creative. So then I brought in Anna and I said, hey, I think it'd be cool if we did something, just because her spunkiness and how she is, I think it'd be really good and fun. So then we just decided that we were going to do something that we were passionate about and things that we enjoy watching. So it was, to answer the question, no, we do not storyboard. That's something that we try to do. Like you mentioned, we do have a hectic schedule. So we will come up with an idea, and during one of my days off, if it lands on the weekend, we try to record it then.
If it were up to me, it would just be working out all day, posting all the workout videos.
So that's interesting to me because you guys are frozen right now, but that's okay. We'll work through it. We'll work through it. I've taught, people have asked me about like posting. So I do like YouTube shorts of my workouts, but just the idea of posting my entire workout, like, to me, isn't interesting. But it's for a selfish reason, because I know if I do a workout and I have it live, I'm going to be stopping to answer questions. And that's going to interfere with my ability to concentrate on what I'm trying to do. Have you guys considered doing something like that?
No. So like she mentioned, she likes to record her workouts and then kind of like edit it with no like talk over or anything like that. And we talked about that because she gets to get a lot of people and a lot of friends that we have, or people that we talk to, they tell her all the time, like, we take screenshots and they show us their phone roll, and it's just full of like Anna's screenshots with the workout. So that's good. As far as recording it live,
I've never done that.
No,
Okay.
we talked. She will not stop her workout for anything. Once it's go time, it's go time.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't really have to. Well, I still have. We still have a 9-year-old in the house. Most of our kids are are adults, so we don't really. And I know you guys have adult kids as well. So that's not something that. This isn't something that bothers me anymore. But I mean, my grandkids come over, and if I happen to be working out and one of them comes in, I'm gonna, it's obviously gonna interrupt me. I don't mind in-person interruptions, right? Because it's actually worked out for me. When I compete in powerlifting, and it's actually worked out for me because it's actually been like good training for when stuff kind of doesn't go as planned in a powerlifting meet. Something always goes wrong at a meet. No matter how well run the meet is, something's going to happen. Something will happen with the person ahead of you or whatever. And when that kind of stuff happens, it's always cool because it doesn't necessarily throw me off, because I'm used to having to answer this question from the kid and then focus back on lifting. What I am not into is the idea of stopping to answer somebody's question, because it's going to be like some random thing, right? I'm lifting, trying to get focused, and somebody will be like, hey, where'd you get that cable stack? Or some random tangential thing. And I'm just not trying to. First of all, I would answer the question, but I don't want to do something like that because it'll take me, like, my mind off of what I'm doing. That's kind of what I'm saying. So I know that you guys said that you like to pretty much you'll get an idea and on your day off, you'll try to shoot it. What's the plan for when you hit a wall and neither one of you has an idea?
Yeah, so I talked to her about that recently, and with my schedule, that's the hard part. Is I work 2 days on, so 48 hours straight, and then I'm off for 96 hours. So 2 days on, 4 days off, and those 2 days I'm there, I'm completely gone. So we talked about batching some content and coming up with some ideas, which would make it much easier for us. So when that happens, it gives us a little bit more time. And we're working on that one. We're going to try to do like 2 videos this week. Today, we'll try to knock out 2 videos and then move from there. As far as the like the blocks that we have or we're going to encounter when there's nothing to do, like on here, you can see we just started this new hot takes on our shorts.
Yeah.
Where we just, on that one, we're able to get in there. We sit in the sauna and we come up with some of the hot topics that have been like coming up, like ego versus scaling, discipline in the gym. And we talk for 90 seconds. And then I chop that up. One session, 120-minute sauna session, I chop that up into 7 days. So
okay, yeah. So
things like that will help us to keep the channel going, and then our goal is to post at least 1 video
a week.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sustainable schedule, and actually batching is what I do. We try to have we've tried other ways, but there's a we have like a backlog of evergreen videos that we can release whenever there's not something like in the moment. We're like, oh, like we're not doing a video for like some project, like to do a review or something like that, and we don't have something else we want to do. I can always just go back into our YouTube channel to say, okay, well, what do we have from the evergreen video archive that we can put out? Because the biggest thing with the channel is consistency. People have to know if they go to your channel like for me, it's every Tuesday. There's going to be a video upload every Tuesday by 8 a.m., a long form video. My shorts tend to be a little bit more all over the place in terms of what time, even though those are still kind of consistent in terms of the time I post them. But the video uploads, in my opinion, have to be consistent because it's kind of like a TV show. When I first started doing this guy was telling me, he said, like, imagine if you had like a sitcom that you watched once and you really liked it, and the next time you went to go watch it, it wasn't on. And instead it was on an hour later. And then the next week, it doesn't come out at all. And then the week after that, it's on an hour earlier. Like, it's going to be tough for you to want to get involved with that show because you never know when it's going to be on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. My guy, Michael Brantley, said you guys have great content. So there you go. You guys are getting a lot of shout out. I told you you're going to get a lot of love from the show. Now, let's have a conversation. You mentioned the sauna. We're going to have a conversation about this right now. Let's talk about this, right? So this is your sauna, and it's nice. It is nice. I love how it looks. This is great. Okay. But let's stop right there.
Okay.
You live in New Mexico.
Yeah, desert.
And in your video where you were talking about your mini split, you even mentioned how hot it gets in your garage.
Yeah.
Why do you even need a sauna? Why can't you just close the garage door, turn off the mini split, and especially if you do it right after your workout, it's definitely going to be hot and humid in there. Why did you have to spend money on a sauna? I can verify New Mexico is hot. I actually just drove through there last month. So why can't, like I said, why do you even need a sauna with as hot as it is there? Kurt even says he was once stationed in the land of entrapment, so he can verify the heat.
That's funny.
All right, so look, straight up. Why do you need a sauna when it's already hot outside? I'm fascinated by this. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
Number one, it is not humid here. It's super, super dry. So that's what the sauna does bring, some humidity.
So it is in your gym?
No, just hot. Not a little bit humid at all.
Yeah,
see, I was assuming it would get humid from the sweating and you know what I mean.
No.
Okay.
it dries up immediately.
I got you.
So here our garage is facing south, so that's kind of where the sun travels, and so it gets pretty toasty in there. But the research that we did on the saunas is the real benefit comes like above 160 degrees.
Okay.
And then we get all the way up to 220 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
We got in there. So during the winter time, so the sauna itself, they don't really come with a bottom. So it just has like whatever subflooring you have. So we have the rubber mats.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Y'all are suffering. It looks like you're suffering. Like Anna's a trooper, but it looks hot. Look at that. That's right there. That's heat.
So, on that one, so the benefit doesn't hit till at 160 to 220, and we like to keep it close to 200 as possible.
Okay.
So what we're looking forward to is the sun heating up the garage and the flooring, so that when we do get in there, it'll be nice and toasty, and it'll get quick or heat up really quickly. So we're looking forward to that.
What you guys mentioned some of the recovery benefits when you guys did your video about it, and I'll link to your sauna video in the description for this one. That's the one that we were just I was just screen sharing, but I'll link to it so that anybody who's watching wants to check it out after this video is over, they can. What are, now that you've had it for a while, talk about like the recovery benefits, especially like for joint pain. I know I've heard people talk about how much they love their sauna in terms of helping with joint pain. Have you noticed anything like that?
No, sorry.
Yeah. So I have some meniscus tears in my knees, arthritis. I have noticed a huge change in that in the last couple of months that we have had the sauna. It's hard to tell right now because I just did cortisone shots about a month ago. So I'm trying to see if it's actually the sauna or if it's the cortisone shots. But I notice my recovery is a heck of a lot better. We wear the Whoop, and it tells me my recovery has been really great lately. So as long as I stay hydrated, looks like I could stay up on my recovery by using the sauna. And I use it about 5 to 6 days a week.
Do you use any other recovery methods like cold tubs?
No, we don't have. I've never been a big fan of it. Just I know there's a lot to it. We just haven't got into like the cold plunge or anything like that. We do have the Kinneon.
Okay.
So the Kinneon is just like it's just this device here. It's a red light therapy, but it has some like medical grade where when you turn it on, like the red lights are designed to actually penetrate a little bit deeper into the muscles to get that red light therapy to very specific. So like she'll put it on her joints, or if I have some neck pain, you can kind of like drape it over. So we use that massage for therapy, like a massage gun, a Theragun, and then I've been doing pliability, and then now I'm moving over to GoWad to try that one out.
Yeah, I saw that you guys said that you do your pliability in your office.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me. Why don't you guys do it in the garage?
It's just easier for me. I have like my own little like setup here. We could do it in the garage. I guess I could do it in there. But in here, it's a little more controlled as far as the temperature. So when it's winter time,
you got a mini split.
We do.
Oh my god!
He's bougie.
We have to like plan it out and set it up.
We got saunas and mini splits. You know, I just don't like the climate in the.
I get to use this ambiance here.
Ambiance.
See this little salt lamp here puts me in the right mind.
Oh my god! Hey Anna, take that shirt from him right now.
Right?
Take that shirt from him right now. Oh my god, Jocko Willink is so sad at you right now.
I agree.
Hey, what's up, my guy Joey Echeverria? What's up, my man? Thanks for getting up way too early. Once again, yeah. See, Carlos is in Houston, and he said y'all are bougie.
Yeah, I am not. He is.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, look, you see how she disassociated herself. She said, well, I don't know about, I'm not bougie, but this guy over here is bougie.
Yeah.
Hey, you know how it goes, man. Complete abandonment right away.
Right.
So I was asking about the sauna, not just the sauna, but your gym in general, because I was watching your gym tour, and you guys have a situation that's similar to the one that I have with my wife. I was mentioning how there's stuff that I want to buy, but we have a thing where we don't make big purchases unless both of us has had a chance. So let me back up. I don't buy anything if I haven't had a chance to try it, but put my hands on it. Right? That's one. Number two, we don't buy any make big purchases especially not for our home gym, if we both haven't had a chance to physically see it and touch it. Because, let's say you guys do a review of something, my wife and I don't have the same leverage as you guys are. We don't have the same body proportions as you. So it may be a great piece of gear, but I've seen too many times since I started my home gym. I started working out at home in 2001, and I got my first home gym in 2000. I would say it's an actual home gym. It was like 2002, and since that time, I've seen multiple cases where people buy something online based upon a review. It gets to their house, and then they don't like it as much as their favorite influencer liked it. I say the knurling for something is medium aggressive. It gets to your house, and you're like, oh, that's not even aggressive at all. For a barbell, or I say that, in fact, we actually have a review on the channel that our buddy Ashley did, where she's talking about how the proportions for this is a leg press hack squat combo, and she said it's not exactly right for her, but other people did a review on the exact same piece of equipment, and they loved the proportions. Well, because they're all different heights, right? So we don't buy something unless my wife and I have both had a chance to see it in person and try it. Even if we don't work out with it, at least we've seen it in person. We know it fits both of us. So that being said, you guys have a similar situation because there are two of you using the home gym, even though you're not using it at the same time necessarily. With space at a premium in every home gym, even one that's as big as yours, how do you balance out buying stuff? Hey, this is going to be fine. Isaac really wants this thing. Anna really wants this thing, and we want this thing together. How do you balance that out?
Well, the reality is I'm a teacher and my budget is zero. So if Isaac says I could buy it, yeah, we buy it. That's it. I haven't bought one piece of equipment in that gym.
No, yeah. So with my profession as a firefighter, there's a lot of overtime opportunities. So if we see something we kind of like that interests us, we'll purchase it. And then I just know that if anything that has to do with like CrossFit or anything like that, especially like the new Rogue system that we got, she's gonna use it for sure. And they say happy wife, happy life.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, so we do purchase some of the stuff that we like, and kind of going back to what you said, I've got caught in that trap more so with like the cameras, the Sony cameras, and the videography type stuff. I get caught up in the influencers where they maybe have like a lot more experience, so then I end up getting it, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. It's too much for me. So on our channel, what we try to do is just give like a true, honest opinion of how we feel about it, and hopefully that helps so that people have that like true, honest opinion. But that's helpful to understand more of like what people are looking for, like different heights. Like we didn't think about that one when we did the that new landmine attachment. So that could make a difference. So that's some good information that we're gonna definitely take back with us when we do our reviews and let people know exactly like our body types and how it affects us, and how it could affect somebody else of different body types.
Truly, I don't think there's one piece of equipment in there that just sits there. I can't think of any. Well,
hold on. I watched the gym tour. Hold on now.
Just one.
Y'all mentioned several items. You're like, yeah, well, so remember the barbell? You're like, yeah, this is for Isaac, and
he doesn't use that one.
Okay, hold on. So now, and Isaac, but no, I got your back, Isaac, because there's also the gymnastics rings that Anna says she doesn't use at all because she doesn't like where they are.
I just used them yesterday.
That's because she knew
That's
she was gonna be on the. She knew she was gonna be on the show, right? And in fact, that was one of the questions I sent you, where I was like, "Why don't you just get rid of the stuff you don't use?" Right? What's the other thing? Is it the? It's not the reverse hyper.
Reverse
Oh
hyper.
no, it's the glute ham. You got the glute ham in the corner. So I told you I watch everything. So you got the glute ham in the corner. You're like, yeah, it ends up just being like a. I think you like if we have it out, it'll just be a table and collect stuff. So we just got it in the corner. We actually don't use it as much. I think y'all do use that one though. It just doesn't get used as much. Yeah. And then there's what's that thing? Is it the war bar? That's basically just a PVC pipe.
No,
the
we use that.
The bamboo bar.
Yeah, it's the bamboo bar. It's the earthquake bar. So it's more for like stability.
No. You got a PVC pipe, and then you also got the Rogue PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Never warm up. That's
She
fine.
does. She's horrible at warming up.
See, I'm gonna tell y'all something about me, right? If you put it on the internet, I'm gonna find it. I watched all your videos, right, when I was preparing for this, which is partly why. Well, anyway, that's all inside baseball. But I watched all your videos, and I was like, well, if they've got all this, why don't you just sell it? Because, like, for me, the earthquake bar, I was like, oh yeah, that's a great piece of gear, right? But it depends on what kind of training. Like, if you guys don't have a powerlifting focus, so or strongman, so for you, that's really not necessary. So I can understand why you don't use it. It's not applicable to your goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm like, well, why don't you sell it? I promise you, Facebook Marketplace is a great place to sell stuff right now, especially with the tariffs. You have too many splits.
We do have we have two of the bikes. So we have the Rogue Echo bike, and then we have the Assault Bike Pro. And the Assault Bike Pro, like that one, I've been trying to convince her. I think she just gets attached to it, and she says, like, I'm going to use it, but that's a big piece of equipment. And we could get a decent amount of like money for it so that we could purchase stuff that we would use. I
know.
She just doesn't want to get rid of that bike. Just it's chain driven. It has a different like feel to it.
But
So
what if I use it one day?
Yeah.
I just used it the other day.
And every program that we follow now, the standard is usually the Echo bike. So we don't use it that often. So yeah, I agree. We do need to get rid of some stuff, and maybe it'll give us the opportunity to help somebody else out that needs it on the review, and then we could get some more equipment that we could do a review on that we've been eyeballing.
Yeah,
because you guys are gonna see this. The longer you do this, as you are doing more and more reviews, if you don't get rid of stuff, your gym becomes so crowded you can't even use it.
Yeah.
So and so most of us who do content creation on YouTube, no matter how we get something, it flows through us. So it ends up on Facebook Marketplace, right? And I always think it's funny because I understand that, but it's still funny to me when I watch somebody's review of something, and then like 30 days later I see it because it'll pop up. Because I mean, we're friends. A lot of us who do like this, like we're friends on Facebook. Well, we met at Home Gym Con, a lot of us, so we follow each other. And I'll see like they did a review of this, and then I see it's up on Facebook Marketplace. And I just laugh hilarious. I just laugh hysterically. Right? But I get it because I mean I do the same thing. In fact, it's funny because I posted a video showing me using this leg extension. It's old. I got it from Palladium Sports. And I was like, yeah, you guys are talking about tariffs. Well, this used piece of equipment is working just fine. Don't worry about your new gym candy. Go buy something used, right? And I posted a video. It wasn't even up 5 days. And one of our pastors happened to come over to get something else from us. My wife was giving away something to help his wife out. And he came over and he saw it and he was like, hey, you still use this? And I was like, well, actually, if you want it, you can have it because we just got something else in that's going to take its place. So that's even gone, like, but I literally did a video 5 days ago about how it's great having this thing and it's gone just like that. That's hilarious. What's up, Matthew Burrows from actually Matthew is the head of Expodium USA, which is a CrossFit brand. Most of their equipment is related to CrossFit, so he's somebody that I would encourage. Since you guys are in that CrossFit world, I would encourage you guys to check out Expodium, see if you like any of this stuff. I know that Rogue is like your number one go-to, but I'm not getting paid anything for telling you this. I just happen to think that Expodium has some value, especially if you're into CrossFit style training. But appreciate you getting up early and checking out the show, Matthew. Jared Martin says, I bet he's looking out for you when he's considering products. And Kurt says he wishes that he was mini split bougie and said those are goals, right?
The mini split has been the best thing in that gym. I'm not kidding. It gets cold in the winter.
Now, I do have another question because you mentioned the thing about the humidity. Have you guys considered a humidifier?
We probably should, especially like when we sleep.
It's so dry.
It is dry here.
Yeah.
Because you could sell that bike. I'm just saying.
I like it.
I'm just messing with you, man. Now, I mentioned you guys have a coaching background. It's a CrossFit coaching background. So okay, here we go. Eric is in New England. He says y'all don't know what cold is.
He's probably right.
That's true.
But I will, in your defense, though, I've been in the desert. It gets cold at night in the desert.
When you're used to the heat, it gets pretty cold.
It gets cold at night in the desert. I can vouch for that. And now it doesn't get New England cold,
No.
but it gets uncomfortably cold, and that's good enough for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, but as I said, you guys have a CrossFit coaching background because you own your own box. That you started with some other firefighters, right? Yeah. But then you guys started, you're training at home and all that. And I think it's easy to lose that community feel, that connection that CrossFit thrives on when you're training at home. It happened to me when I went for my job in a public gym. It wasn't CrossFit. CrossFit didn't exist when I left my public gym, but when I left my job at the public gym, but I still lost that community connection that I had. And I think because CrossFit thrives so much on it, it's something that you lose. And it's doubly important for you guys to connect with your clients too, because you got to know when to push them, when to scale back. So these are some challenges that somebody's going to face if they're training from home and, I guess coaching people remotely. So I got a bunch of questions related to that. Number one, do you guys train clients remotely, or do you still go and meet them somewhere to train them? Because I think you said that you guys don't train people in your home, correct?
Not anymore. She used to.
I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
It's too much.
Okay.
Okay. I stopped a couple of years ago. I was doing it a little bit before COVID, then during COVID, and then.
Yeah, and for me, I do love the community aspect of it. It's the convenience part of having your own gym in your house is really nice. We do love that. Sometimes we're just with our schedule, we're able to just get in there and get it done and get on with the day. But as far as the community, we owned a gym 9 years, and then I sold it to kind of concentrate more on the fire department. But through that, I still continue to coach through a local gym here, a CrossFit gym it's called Gains Fitness, CrossFit 469. I've been coaching there, and that kind of it gets that community part, and she'll go work out there three to 4 days a week. And then it allows me to continue my coaching skills. I have a passion for helping people. I mean, that's why I got into the service of the fire service, just have that servant heart. So being able to get there and eyes on people, helping them move, helping them realize like their potential, like that's important to me. So I continue with that. If I didn't have that, then I would definitely go towards like some online training and clients. And I think she would do really well at that. Like we mentioned earlier, she has a lot of people that follow her and take screenshots and they'll message her about like the workout that they did. So she has potential, just trying to figure that out. And for her, I think it's just getting her confidence in that she's making a difference.
So let me just jump out and say one thing. Are you guys familiar with street parking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Miranda. Okay. So Miranda and Julian. I'm a big fan. I might have been the first person to interview Miranda when she started street parking.
That's cool.
And yeah, I interviewed her I used to run a magazine that was written by and for home gym owners, and I interviewed her for it. Anyway, I like I like what they do with street parking, and to me, it's something that it's an opportunity for public gyms and CrossFit boxes to do, because they have options like for if you're at a gym or if you're at home. So to me, that's something that is an opportunity for you, right? Because you do have like the online following, Anna, and then Isaac has like the in-person thing. How would you say that having a home gym has improved you guys as coaches, though?
I think it improves just in the fact that we also need to be coached as well. So Anna will look up some stuff, and we get kind of coaching or mentoring. Follow Thunder Bros right now. That's Camille LeBlanc's and Dave Lipson. They were like some of the original CrossFitters, and they kind of moved towards that powerlifting or bodybuilding. But then they sprinkle in some CrossFit, since she was one of the CrossFit champions. So we go on there. They have videos. We'll watch that. And just seeing that one gives us some ideas of like, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm going to take that. I'm going to incorporate that into my training, and just learning different views. If not, you might just get kind of stuck in your little lane of what you are used to. And us reaching out and looking for other mentors and seeking other ideas helps us when we go out and we have to coach other people. So keeps us fresh, keeps us providing more content and more tools in the chest.
So something that I occasionally this happens, because I have my online coach right now is they're mobility coaches, and occasionally like there's a difference between when they say, okay, this is what we want you to do, and I think this is what they mean. Right. And then I see the video that they post and I'm like, oh, that's a completely different exercise. Yeah. Have you guys experienced that? Like where like your coach says, okay, now you're going to do this. I know that CrossFit has like these funky names for exercises, but it's like, they're like, hey, we're going to do this. And you're like, okay. And then what you thought it was is something completely different.
Yes. Especially the program I follow. I read the description and I think it is. And I'm like, because I'm really in a hurry in the morning. I have like a 35-minute window. So, and when I don't look at the video and then I go back, I'm like, I can't post this. It's not even the right movement. Happens all the time. So I've gotten better at looking at the content before the morning.
Because I would say that that's something that probably plays in like the coaching thing.
Yeah.
Like because when you're writing it, you know what you mean, but the client may not necessarily know. Yeah. So, let's say, well, okay, before I go ask that question, there's we've got a lot going on about this temperature situation here. So Eric started it off, says we don't know what cold is. Okay. I'll have you know that we do get ice storms here in Atlanta, by the way, Eric. Occasionally it's cold. And I grew up in Maryland, so I've seen a blizzard a few times. And I thought I thought you were in New England. He said he's in Northwest Wisconsin. I've been to Wisconsin, and I'm going to say that I have zero desire to return, because I was up there. I was working somebody's corner for a fight, a kickboxing match. And after the fight's over, there was nowhere to eat. And so we ended up, me, my coach, and everybody else on the team, I happened to have like one protein powder packet. And we ended up like sharing that 5 ways. Yeah. Goodbye, Wisconsin. I ain't been back since. I still got a grudge. Now, Joey Echeverria says temperature is a number and cold is a feeling. There you go. Wiser words were never spoken.
I like it.
Kurt said he was stationed north of Fairbanks, Alaska, and that was cold. He said -60 was his PR.
Nuts.
Never experienced that.
I'm gonna let you continue to win that competition, Kurt. You win. There you go. I have zero interest in ever being that cold. And my guy Michael Vaudre checking in. He is in New England. He said he's checking in right there. What's up, Joey? All right. That's actually one of the reasons I love having this show live, where you get like all the reactions and stuff. And the show is so much better because we get that, in my opinion. And so let's say Rogue Fitness went out of business tomorrow. Okay. After your mourning period, because I know it's going to affect you. Look. Okay, look, Isaac, you okay? You all right? You need a minute? Like it didn't really happen, Isaac. It didn't really happen.
What's happening here?
It's hypothetical. Come back. You're in a safe place. It's safe here. Rogue, come back. Rogue, it still exists. I just said.
All right.
That was close. All right. But who would be your go-to for equipment? Because I only saw one item that was a non-Rogue item in your home gym. And you guys aren't sponsored by them. You just are passionate about the brand. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like Rogue Fitness isn't technically a home gym brand, even though they have products you can use in the home gym. So now that you've had a home gym for a while, is there anything out there that you like? I'd like to get that, but you're kind of like waiting for Rogue to make their version of it because you trust the brand. And so this is a 2-part question. Is there anything that you want to get, but Rogue doesn't make it yet, so you haven't bought it? And also, if Rogue didn't exist, who would be your go-to for equipment? Like, who do you trust?
I mean, go.
Yes, because I don't know any other brand.
Okay. Yeah. So, with the brand that I would go to is probably Rep Fitness. Fitness. I believe a lot of their stuff is imported from China or from other places, but they are out of Colorado.
Yeah.
So ever since we started, we've kind of been eyeballing them, but they come out with some pretty good. They've been coming out with some stuff that's really comparable or competitive with Rogue. Being that I am into Rogue, I think if they went, that would be my next choice to go to them. They have some pretty good equipment that's coming out. Comparable stuff like that landmine. They have a comparable piece to that landmine that we have that they fix some issues like that Rogue hasn't yet. But it's just we like the Rogue brand itself, and we trust like that equipment, so that's why we went with that. And
go ahead.
And then there's that Titan.
Oh yeah,
Titan Fitness.
Yeah.
I think that's the one. The box that
we
had
the
in
box
there.
is from? Yeah.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. That one has some pretty good stuff that we like.
Okay. I mean, it's not like we've got like Jared, who's watching right now. He's big into bells of steel. We got a fair number of people who like have like their favorite brands. Carp is I wouldn't say he's a fringe sports stan, but he really does like fringe sport.
Okay.
He likes some other companies too, but I am a little bit more I guess agnostic in that I've just basically, well, especially now that Home Gym Con exists, I get, I try a bunch of different things and I'm like, oh, I like that from this company and I like that from this company, and it doesn't really bother me. But I completely understand, because once you know that a company makes stuff the way you like it, you're like, well, why do I need to go out and experiment when I already know, what I like? You know what I mean? And I know I can get it from this place. So that does make sense to me. I was just curious.
There was just like all like Apple, they have their ecosystem where you can use other stuff, but when you're bought into that system, it just works better with that system. There was like even one I was looking up some like equipment to maybe purchase, and now I'll go to like your second part of the question. But some of the steel, like they say, is 3x3, and then another company is a little bit just like smaller. I don't know the exact dimensions, but it's just a little bit smaller than a legit 3x3. So if I had a Rogue equipment, it would fit on there with a little bit of a rattle, but it wouldn't work the other way. So then we have to kind of worry about that. I have to do a lot of research of like, well, will this fit on mine? So there's that little things like that could be an issue. And then going into your second part of the question, as far as like what equipment would I love to see, is Rip has this like belt squat attachment, or you could convert your current system into a belt squat. So right now, Rogue did come out with their Rhino functional trainer, But that one, it would just be too much to retrofit. And I don't think they have it for the Twin Tower yet. So Rep Fitness has this attachment where you kind of put on the bottom rungs, you stick it in there, and it looks like a T, and it has like a long cable system that'll go up to the top pulley part so that you could convert your system into that belt squat. I've been looking at that part of it. I think that's really cool. That's kind of what I've been eyeballing, and I saw that on Rep Fitness, and I wasn't sure. I'm afraid to pull the trigger just because I'm not sure if it'll actually work with our system.
But you are open to stuff. Okay, so Matthew, here's your moment, Matthew. You said that X Podium, Matthew just put the thing in here. It says X Podium USA. He wants you guys to try it. So
okay.
I'm brokering this deal in real time. If Matthew sends you something from X Podium, will you try it?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So Matthew, there you go. You if you are willing to send them something, I don't need anything for this, right? If you're willing to send them something, I can connect you guys and you guys can work it out. I give you guys I guess what I'll do is I'll give your email address or something like that. Yeah, will that work?
Yeah.
Give you. Okay, I'll just connect you guys via email, and that way, if Matthew, if you want to send them something, and they do great reviews. Hey, look at this. He said whatever they want. Hold on, maybe I do need money.
Right.
Slow down. Hold on, back up. Wait. Maybe I do need money. Hold on, slow down. Because whatever covers a lot of ground.
Right.
No. Okay, yeah, I'll connect you guys via email after this is over, and then you guys can see if we can, if it'll work out. So that's oh, he says, all right. He says, I'm in. That's perfect. Thanks. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, that'll work out. Carp said about, when we talk about the getting rid of equipment thing, he said it's a revolving door sometimes. He's recently been moving some stuff that can't stay to local folks that'll upgrade them. And he's also giving stuff to firefighters and firehouses. So
nice.
Yeah, that's what, literally, if you keep everything, you end up not having room. And I've seen some people I know, they've got home gyms, and I'm like, well, how exactly do you even train in here? There's not room to do anything.
Right.
I don't know. I need floor space. I need floor space.
Took up a lot of space.
Yeah. So while you were gone, Isaac, we arranged for Matthew Burris from Expodium to send something to your house that you probably end up having to put together, because I know, I'm married too, so I know how that goes. No, I'm kidding. My wife.
That's how it goes. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I'm actually kidding. My wife loves assembling stuff because she said to her it's like putting together a puzzle, and I'm actually the one that doesn't like assembling stuff. But we usually do everything together. So I'm gonna connect you and Matthew by email, and then you guys can just work it out. See how that works.
Awesome, much appreciated.
Oh yeah, of course, man. Meanwhile, those of you who are watching, please, you see the banner going across the bottom. Make sure you subscribe to Thicc and Fit Adventures on YouTube. They got a lot of cool content. The channel is just getting off the ground. Make sure everybody, there's 1,352 of you watching right now. So I need at least half of you to go subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Thank you.
And let's get them going, because you want to see good content on YouTube. You can't watch cat videos forever. All right. You want to see good content on YouTube. So you need to subscribe to people who are putting out the content that you like. And I promise, if you guys check out Thicc and Fit Adventures, you will enjoy their content. So then also, we only got a couple more questions. Now that you've had the experience of working out at home, I wouldn't say that the equipment you're using at the house is probably roughly the same as what you use at the box, right? Because Rogue at the box is Rogue. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But now that you've had a chance to step back, you don't own the box anymore. You coach at one, but you don't own it anymore. So some of the stuff that you had to deal with as an owner, you don't have to worry about. How has that changed your perception? You know what I mean? That kind of like when you can do like a 10,000 foot view, it kind of like changes how you plan. So if you had to start a public or semi-private facility,
sorry, is that loud?
It's pretty loud.
We have my grandson just came, so the dogs get really excited, so they're gonna be loud for a few minutes.
That's all right. So in my head, what just happened is somebody's just started having a bad day because I heard the dog start barking. I said, "Oh well, somebody's day just went really bad."
No, they're excited.
Hey, they ain't nothing wrong. Hey, shout out to grandkids, man. If I'm a grandfather as well, so it's fine by me. So I tell you what, I'm gonna do this, and can you hear me?
Can you just give me a quick second? I'll just let them in the garage, and then
Yeah.
they should be good.
No problem. Go ahead. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So while Isaac is taking care of that, we only have a couple more questions for him. I need you guys, if you have questions for Isaac and Anna, to put those questions in the chat. Jared, I see your comment, and you see I brought up Home Gym Con a couple of times, so I am going to encourage them to go to Home Gym Con because I think that they will enjoy that experience. And especially since Anna said that she's not really familiar with a lot of the home gym equipment companies. Like in my head, there are several of them that I can see like she might like just based upon what I know about their training, just from watching their videos and their stuff on Instagram. So I think that they are a great fit for Home Gym Con. Something else I wanted to. So anyway, so to continue that thought, if you guys have questions for them, go ahead and put those questions in the chat so that we can get those knocked out before we wrap this up. And let's see, Isaac is back. So let me bring you back on. What's up, man? Look at that.
Right, so,
perfect timing because I just finished saying what I wanted to say and you showed back up. It's like we rehearsed it. Okay. So last comment was from Jared. He said it sounds like a couple people need to join us at Home Gym Con. And I don't know if you guys even know what Home Gym Con is.
No.
Okay.
I'll look it up and we're interested in that.
You ain't got to do none of that. I'm going to tell you right now. So Home Gym Con is, you'll need to look it up so you can sign up. But so basically Home Gym Con is, you familiar with the Arnold?
Yeah.
Okay. So Home Gym Con is an expo. It's not quite a trade show. It's like it's an expo where every year you get over 100 equipment suppliers from around the world, literally from around the world. We had people from Germany. This year we got a brand from Japan coming, and then of course from here in the U.S. We all meet in. It's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. And you get 2 days to walk around and try home gym equipment before you buy it. So Rogue Fitness, for example, is one of the brands that's going to be there. So you'll be able to, well, I've not tried this with Rogue, but I have done it with other brands, like where you can say, hey, I wonder if this thing here will fit on that thing over there. And you can actually just do it. Like say, okay, hey, can I grab this and see if it'll fit over here? I've got this power rack at home. Can I see if this will fit on that rack? And they literally, like, yeah, sure. And you just walk right over there. And then you can buy it right there on the spot. Or, if you're flying and you don't have room in your suitcase for whatever the thing is, you can always buy it online. But at least now you know that it'll fit as opposed to spending $500-$600 for something. Then it gets to your house and it doesn't fit, as you were saying earlier, right?
Okay.
So basically, and then you also get to meet a lot of other people in the home gym community. A lot of the people who you see here in the chat, who are very active in the chat, I met at Home Gym Con and we built relationships there. And so that's how I got, some of them I've never met in person, but a fair amount of the people who you see in the chat are people who I met at Home Gym Con for the first time.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's really, I'd say it's one of the, if you are a home gym owner, to me, it should be a bucket list thing. Even if you never go again, you need to go at least once to Home Gym Con. And I've actually got next week, I've got the creator of Home Gym Con, Jake Jaworski. He's going to be coming on. So if you got any questions for him, that'll be a good show to check out to throw your questions in. All right. So
we'll definitely check that out. What we're learning now is, and we didn't even realize it until we started our channel, that how big this community is. So like you're saying, like how do we fit back into a community? Like we didn't even realize it until we started. of how big the community actually is. And we started thinking about like our friends, and then we started thinking like, what can we do next? So what content can we do next? We're like, well, why don't we just do like a garage gym tour? Like, who could we call upon?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, what about this person? What about that person? And we start realizing, wait, a lot more people are actually going this direction. So that's been really cool and we'll definitely go check that out and network and see what that's all about. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's actually interesting to me that you said that you guys didn't think about the home gym space, because Greg Glassman's blog about the garage gym is one of the things that got a lot of people started training at home. When he had it up on the CrossFit Main, I don't know if it's still up there or not. I don't go on the CrossFit Main site, but I remember when it came out.
Yeah, he was big on that.
Yeah, and it was like he was like, hey, you can do a lot of this stuff at home. You know, a lot of these WODs at home. You don't have to actually go join a box if you don't want to.
Right.
And look at that, we got you a new subscriber right there, my guy Carlos.
Let's go.
There you go. There we go. Let's keep that going. Be like Carlos. Go ahead, subscribe to Thicc Fit Adventures on YouTube. Make sure you do it. All right, they got a ton of cool content and useful content too. I will say that, because even the thing you guys were saying about the landmine, where you're saying like it hit Anna in the chest and it hit you in the boys, that that's not something that people think about. So I think that it's not just interesting; it's also relevant content. So I encourage people to check that out.
Thank you.
So that being said, I keep telling people to go subscribe to your channel. So let's get us a sneak preview. What's your next video going to be about?
Yeah, so like Anna mentioned earlier, we have the Whoop. So some people are aware of it, maybe they're not. It's just a biometric tracker. It kind of tracks your sleep, recovery, performance, all that good stuff. We're going to dive into that and kind of just give like a preview of exactly what it looks like, how we communicate in the morning. So we'll wake up and like, if I'm at work, it's like, how did you sleep? Well, let me check. And then I go in there and I check, and I can start seeing how that affects even the sauna, like the benefits of it. But we do realize that if you are in the sauna and you're not hydrated for the day, like that recovery will go the opposite way. So we're definitely going to do a review on the Whoop, and what we're going to show is like how you can actually track it. And then we'll do like we're going to do a workout with that and kind of show the Whoop like metric on there. And you can see it like side by side. We're going to go back and forth of like how it works. And that's going to be one of them. And then that desktop equipment that you mentioned, the benefit of having that reverse hyper, especially for those with like back problems and issues like that, how that's a game changer. And although it sits there and being used as a table, it's really necessary, especially if you have like back pain, and it's much cheaper than going to like a chiropractor all the time. So that's a couple videos that we have coming up.
So there's a couple of things actually that I thought that I think Rogue. So I've actually got some Hatfield handles I got from Rogue downstairs. They're my second pair, because when I got my first pair, I had a rack with 1-inch holes, and then I have the rack. Then I got the rack that I have now, which has 5/8 holes. So I had to go back and buy the I guess it would be Monster Light version, so I could still have the Hatfield handles, because I still use those. I still do the Hatfield squats. But what I think Rogue excels at is taking stuff and making sometimes it's stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think about, right? So like I think they were the ones that created like a desk. It was almost like a standing desk. They did that for a long time. A lot of people, I'm sure people who are watching this know, but for a long time, if you wanted to get stuff that was like used for strongman, a lot of powerlifting stuff, you couldn't find it anywhere easily, at least, unless you went to Rogue, because a lot of these brands that we see now didn't exist. Like I said, I remember when Rogue started, and it was Rogue. Of course, York Barbell was around, but most people didn't know how to get anything from there. A lot of the home gym stuff was really flimsy. So I give Rogue a lot of credit for bringing sturdy home gym equipment and making it available. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when we started CrossFit journey, it was Rogue versus Again Faster. And I think Get Faster is still around, but they used to have like their athletes. So they had the CrossFit athlete that was sponsored by Rogue, and then they had like this friendly competition, and then just like Rogue just like blew up to the monster it is today. And Again Faster just I think they're still around, but they're not really like relevant in the this scene.
So a couple of comments before we close. With Carp said, honestly, I like all equipment. That's how you really get to learn what's what, as you have to compare them all against each other. Says I like reviewing a lot of the high end stuff, but for Rogue, and he says for Rogue is great, but if you don't know what the other stuff is like or what to compare it to, then you actually don't know what good or bad is. Yeah. But I think actually that's a really good point that you made. Is like if you get something, it may not fit on the Rogue product, right? Yeah, so you got to go checking measurements and stuff like that. So I do 100% get that. But what I like is that a lot of the Rogue stuff fits on the things I have, so it always works out. So I know you guys are a fan of Barbell Rescue, and I choose to believe that that's because you and Kim have a shared mustache, a connection. So where can people follow you guys and see what you guys got going on, including hopefully one day we get mustache care tips from Isaac. So tell everybody how they can, all the different places they can encounter your content. You can give them, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want them to go to check out your stuff.
It's Isaac _ Cisneros on Instagram, and then Isaac 505 on YouTube. But just on that one is more, I'm going more towards just like having fun with that part of it. And then Anna Smith, I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure on her tag there, but we'll start putting some of those tags those handles in our YouTube channel, so that you can find us like outside of there, like on TikTok or other places like that.
All right, well, man, I appreciate you joining us. I remember you told me that you're gonna have your grandson over, so I don't want to keep you away from the little guy any longer. Because they grow up fast, man. So go enjoy it. Like I remember when my granddaughter was born, and she's already 2 years old running around. So
it goes fast. She's already 10 months.
Yeah, man. And then my grandson, he was born January, and like look at this, it's already April, about to be May. So it's So enjoy that time. Thank you guys for getting up way too early with me. But before you go, we're going to have this conversation. I need a picture of you guys. I know you got pictures. Look in your phone, pick a picture, and send it to me.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell everybody. I'm putting you on blast, right? I'm putting you on display. So I told Isaac I need a picture for the thumbnail, right? And he's responded to me. We've actually emailed back and forth a lot. And I'll be like, hey, man, I still need that picture. And he'll say, yeah, man, sorry I didn't get you the picture. I'm like, but you still didn't send it. Send me the picture. I'm like, what are you in witness protection?
I thought on that one, I thought it was too late. I was like, oh, it's already too late. He already has it up, and it's already in motion, and we'll change it up.
So what I did was I took a screenshot from a video, and I screenshotted it twice and did some creative editing. But no, I actually want just grab a picture from your phone of the two of y'all together and send it to me.
Okay.
I'm like, what is going? You're putting me through it, Isaac. I get emotional. Anyway, okay. I feel better. Thank you for letting me stay.
All right.
All right. Take it easy, man.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Later. All right. That was my guy, Isaac Cisneros, and his wife, Anna. They're awesome. Once again, go check them out on YouTube at Thicc and Fit Adventures on YouTube. They've got a great show, and they got a great channel with really interesting content. And I appreciate them for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Shout out to all of you guys who joined us from LinkedIn. And we're going to go ahead and sign off now. And but we're going to keep the party going on YouTube. So if you guys would like to check out the rest of the show, we're about to do React Response. So head on over to @Garage Gym Life Media on YouTube. If not, do me a favor. And I need you to help my page on the brand page on LinkedIn grow. So please go and follow Garage Gym Life on LinkedIn so we can get that to grow. and then I'll be able to start live streaming this show on the Garage Gym Life page instead of on my personal page. And anyway, until next week, I will see you guys when you get up way too early with me again. Those of you on YouTube, don't go anywhere because the party is still going strong. All right. So let's see. It is 8 a.m. Shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. Thank you guys here on YouTube for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. And if this is your first time watching the show, do me a favor and hit the like button and hit subscribe. There's about 1,400 of you watching, 1,415 of you watching. I need you guys to hit that subscribe button for me. We want the channel to grow. I want to continue to be able to put out good content for you. And the only way to do that is if you guys hit subscribe for me and grow, because not only does that help you, but it also tells YouTube that people are interested in this content, and it's going to cause YouTube to recommend the show to more people. And I think that we can really do some good things for fitness content on YouTube with this show. All right, now it is time to react and respond to stuff on the internet. The way that this works is I bring up topics that have come across my desk or phone screen, and we are going to react to it. And also, if you guys have something you've seen that you want me to react to, go ahead, drop it in the chat, and we'll jump on it. We'll talk about it together. All right. So the first place I want to go is my community comments on YouTube. All right. So let's go there now. Share that screen, and there we go. All right. So right here, okay, meat-based vegan. Okay, 6 days ago, Jared brought up that he thought that you don't need rotating sleeves. So if for those who don't know what I'm talking about, if you look at a barbell, the part that spins, those are your sleeves. I'm sure all of you guys know that, but just in case, I don't like to make assumptions. And the fact that the sleeve spins means it's a rotating sleeve, right? Well, Jared says he doesn't think that's necessary. He does a lot of his pressing with an axle bar. So axle bars don't have rotating sleeves. He's like, I don't care about that. And I don't think they're as important. So we had a nice little discussion about it. Well, meat-based vegan got activated by the fact that that I said that I think that rotating sleeves are important. Look, man. Do you all see? So first question, he said, for what exercise you need the bar to have rotation sleeves? I use a cambered bench press bar without rotating sleeves for bench pressing. It works very well for me. So first of all, let's begin with cambered bench press bar. I don't know what brand of bench press bar he uses, but because every cambered bench bar I know of has rotating sleeves. I'm not saying that there's not one out there that doesn't have rotating sleeves, but I'm going to say, in fact, here we go. This is we were just talking to Isaac and Anna about Rogue. This is the Rogue Seal Row bench and bar. Okay, so there's the bench right there, but we're not concerned with the bench right now. We're concerned with the bar. Okay, that is a cambered bar. Let's look at the bar right there. Boom. See these right there? Those are rotating sleeves. All right. Well, maybe he doesn't mean that. Okay. Maybe he means another brand. All right. So let's try another one. So this is French Fitness. Okay. French Fitness. Let's go to French Fitness at the Fitness Superstore. All right. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right. Right there. Oh, look. What's that? Rotating sleeves. Okay. Y'all get my point, right? All right. So I don't even know. Okay. So there we go. So Jared says my cambered row knurled axle bar. Use it this morning, in fact. Okay, good. So I was just telling you, I didn't know of a bar that's cambered that didn't have rotating sleeves. So there you go. You solved the mystery. I don't know everything, but this cat, we're gonna go back to meat-based vegan, who I'm gonna say that's your cousin, Jared, okay? Because he agrees with you, and so now I blame you for him, okay? And I said, so my answer to him, I felt was a reasonable answer. I said, that's great, man, but a straight bar with rotating sleeves has been the best thing since 1910, since the year 1910, right? He said, you still haven't said what the reason is for rotating sleeves. I train bodybuilding without it, and it works well for me. Another thing is that the plates rotate. Now he's claiming that the plates rotate on the bar by themselves. It's not fixed in one position. All right, cool. Jared, do the plates since you've got one, do the plates on the arch nemesis is not strictly speaking a cambered bar. We're talking about cambered bars. All right. What I want to know is, Jared, do the plates on your neural axle bar rotate? Do they spin when you use them? And while you're answering that question, so the arch nemesis, Eric, is a Swiss bar. It's not a cambered bar. Okay. Now I realize that it does have a curve, but it's a Swiss bar, not a cambered bar. And it's even in but yeah, I get you. I got you. All right. And so Jared says my plates may spin. I don't know. I'd have to watch myself a replay. Eric says my plates will wobble and spin a bit if I don't use collars. Well, yeah, okay. But I assume that most people use collars when they're doing. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you about the Black Widow. I'm just saying, like, if it's so now let's go look at Black Widow, because I want to be fair. Black Widow training gear, cambered bar. All right, cambered row bar. Let's go there. Ba, 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 ba. All right, so larger photo. Let's share the screen right here. All right, so again, to me that's basically an axle bar with a bend in it, but whatever, right? What I say, and so yes, I do see your point. I get that. What I want to know is, again, do the sleeves. If you're when you're training alone, you don't use collars. Huh? That's interesting. Okay. I think I know why. Okay. But that's just interesting. Anyway, so the reason why rotating sleeves, well, one reason is because it affects your technique. Now, I grant you that the people who the rotating sleeves were invented for were competing in the sport of weightlifting. All right. But people who compete in the sport of, and maybe this is why I'm biased, because even people, for example, who compete in powerlifting, who've talked to me about the Garage Gorilla Bar, one of the things that they don't like about it is that the sleeves don't rotate because it throws off your bar path. All right. And to me, it's just not, I'm not telling you that you're going to die or you're going to hurt yourself, because people use bars without rotating sleeves for years, decades before rotating sleeves were invented. But I am saying that in general, we are not as robust as those lifters because our lives are in general not as active as theirs. So they were working out alongside frequently having manual labor jobs. So they got a lot of GPP, general physical preparedness training, just from living their lives. Additionally, we have a bigger focus on exercises like the bench press nowadays, which kind of skews your shoulders to be a little bit forward, so you've got more kyphosis, right? So that means our shoulders are not as healthy as they were. In fact, little side note, but the bench press, one of the reasons why the bench press became popular is because it was a way for those lifters to balance out all of the pulling movements they were doing. They realized that the bench press was a great assistance movement for them because they were finding that they were doing so many pulling exercises that they were the other direction. They had the opposite problem that we have. We're more hunched forward. They were back way too much, right? And so bench pressing actually helped move them more back to neutral spine, which if you can believe that, the world has changed definitely. You say what you want to say, Eric, but I know you use machinery. Those guys that I'm talking about weren't even using machinery because most of the machinery hadn't been invented yet. I'm not saying you don't work hard. I'm just telling you, you got machinery and they did not. Like a blacksmith from the 1800s would laugh at your idea of manual labor, right? So, hey, Rob, yeah, he said the bench also developed from the backward position of the overhead press. Yeah, because people were leaning. So at the time, the standing press was an Olympic lift, and people realized that you could lean back, and I'm thinking of anyway, so you could lean back and you could press more weight. So their backs were a lot more supple than we are. But now, here's the thing. Because they did so much pulling is part of why they were able to lean back so far, right? You ain't about to get somebody from nowadays able to lean. If you can lean back most people nowadays can't even lean back that far and definitely can't support that much weight. As much weight as if you go back and look at some of the old black and white photos of lifters doing the standing press in the Olympics. In fact, let's do that now. Let's see. Back Olympics. All right. So, yeah, that's a good one. Is that Tommy Kono, I wonder? All right, there we go. That's a good picture right there. I'm curious I don't know if that's Tommy Kono, but yeah, it is Tommy Kono. That's crazy that I recognize him just from the picture. I didn't even, but yeah, down there in the bottom it says Tommy Kono. But look how far back that dude is leaning, right? And he was perfectly fine. Okay, I watched a documentary on him decades after this picture was taken, and he was just fine. Let's see. There's another one. I'm seeing there's another. Yeah, this is a good one because this is from the side. I wonder if this is Norbert. Yeah, this looks like Norb Szymanski. Anyway, look how far back the homie is leaning back, right? But the story that I've heard is that actually the bench press was invented primarily by George Hackenschmidt because he was also a wrestler and he was looking for basically he wanted to get stronger in terms of pushing people off so he wouldn't get pinned. And because you'll like this, Rob, the original bench press, you had to do a pullover because the bench uprights hadn't even been invented yet. So the original version of the bench press, you did a pullover from the floor, right? So you lay down on the bench, you did a pullover, and then you pressed from there, right? So there you go. Oh my God. So I still have to lift heavy parts into our machines. All I'm telling you, look, man, I used to work a manual labor job, but I would still, and it was hard, it was heavy, but I will still tell you that I would not put how hard my job was up against a lineman from the 1900s, at all. Anybody who's doing any kind of manual labor job today, if you put it up against how people used to do it back in the day, you're not working as hard as they were. So there's that. But yeah, anyway. Oh my God, yeah, it is. In fact, if you don't know that, first of all, like I was saying, a lot of people nowadays, because of how our bodies have, I don't want to say deteriorated, but our ability to perform has deteriorated because we don't allow our spines we don't have as much pulling in our training as people had back at that time. we don't have the spinal mobility, not flexibility. We don't even have that either, but we don't have the spinal mobility to be able to go back far enough to pull that weight. When people see me do like, I haven't done it in a while, but when I do a neck bridge, pull over and press, people freak out. You're gonna die. I'm like, nah, not really. You know, the record for in that lift is is 400 pounds. Okay. And I think I've done like 2 something, you know. So yeah, anyway, the modern man is, we got technology on our side, but you know, anyway, appreciate you chiming in, man, Rob. But as I was saying, I digress. The fact is that if you have a bar that doesn't have rotating sleeves, it's going to alter the mechanics of your movement. And I will just tell you flat out, it may not matter to you, especially if you're not going to bench in competition, for example, or squatting competition or deadlifting competition. You're not going to ever pull as much weight as your potential is if you have a bar that doesn't have rotating sleeves. Period. Dot. That's just all there is to it. So having said that, let's head on back over to my man, Meat-Based Vegan, and his comment. Okay. Because he said, what's the reason for rotating sleeve, right? And I said, look, man, you watched the video, which is why you're making the comment. I explained in the video why rotating sleeves are important. And I'm not going to go back through all of that again. But he said his steel plates were not spinning and his sleeves don't rotate. And I was like, okay, whatever, man. So he did something that is very rare. He got me so tired of the conversation that I just gave him a thumbs up. And I was like, I don't even care about the engagement at this point. For another thing, he's coming at me like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to do other things, right? And I'm like, look, I ain't got time for this. So I just said, all right, man, whatever. Haven't heard from him since. And hey, this is not a knock on you, Meat-Based Vegan. I appreciate you watching the channel. I appreciate you commenting on the videos. I'm just saying, I ain't about to argue with you about something that I feel has been proven by decades and hundreds, if not thousands, of lifters, of various people who are stronger than me. Okay? I ain't about to argue that. But if you don't want to have rotating sleeves on your bench or on your barbell, knock yourself out and don't have them. That's my first react and respond. And I blame you, Jared. You my guy. But I blame you for Meat-Based Vegan. Because he got acted like you gave me the topic and then walked away and left me with Meat-Based Vegan to argue. And I know you think it's funny. That's all right. Michael Brantley with the dad jokes talking about the arch nemesis is my biggest nemesis. My man. All right, next community comment. Let's go up here. Rich Raps. So Die by the Pump. What? That's a legendary name. I thought that this was a good conversation. It was really quick. See, this was a good conversation. This one was productive. Because he said he checked out my video about bench pressing without wrapping my wrist. And he says, I always tell my clients not to use wraps as a crutch, to make sure you only use them on your top heaviest sets. Same idea as a belt. Now, while I agree that there's a place for beltless work, I've been doing my lifting recently without a belt. And because I was doing my lifting without a belt, I said, well, let's see what happens if I don't use wrist wraps and I don't use knee sleeves either. Right? So it's not something that I'm going to do habitually, but I was just like, let me just give it a try, right? And so my answer to him was, for people who don't plan to compete, I definitely agree. But even if you do compete, I think it's a good idea to use them at some point in your training session, because I'm sorry. So let me back up. I think it's a good idea to not use them at a certain point in the training session, because you need to know what you can do without them in case you get to, and this has happened to me, you get to a competition and you get told that the thing that you've been training on for the past 3 months in preparation for this competition is not on the approved gear list. So we talked about the thing with the IPF last week with Jack from Brimhill Barbell. And you got people who are training with these ends or sleeves, and then they get to the competition, they find out they can't use them, right? So typically, which doesn't make sense to me, but typically, not the part about you not being able to use those sleeves. I'm saying that this doesn't make sense to me. But if you go to powerlifting meet, you would think that they'd have stuff there for sale that's on the approved gear list in case somebody shows up without something. But I have never gone to a powerlifting meet except for maybe one world championship I can think of, one where they had belts and wrist wraps that were there that you could use in the competition. And you think about it, people fly all the time. Well, what happens if your luggage gets lost? Which is, as a side note, why if you're going to fly to a competition, you need to have the stuff you need for the competition in your carry-on. Do not put it with your checked baggage. But now on the way back, you can check it. But on the way there, do not put it with your checked baggage. But what happens if you get there and you don't have something, or something that you're planning on using you're not allowed to use for whatever reason, right? You need to know what you can do without it. But that being said, I also think that you need to use wrist wraps and your belt and all that kind of stuff in the training session, because it's like a football. Powerlifting is a sport. Strongman is a sport. And if you're planning on competing, it's like a football player like a wide receiver who only does drills without his helmet on because he doesn't want the crutch of the helmet. Well, that's going to screw up when you put on a helmet in the game, you're not going to be accustomed to the field of vision you're going to have. When the pads are on, you're not going to be accustomed to how it limits and restricts your body. So to me, it's similar in powerlifting. If you're not accustomed to certain knee sleeves and how they react, it could actually throw you off and cause you to miss a lift because you come down, you bounce, and then it could cause you to lose control. Definitely knee wraps can do that. I've seen that. So that was a Jerry said, I love that this struck a nerve. Dude, I literally was gonna be like, nah, man, I don't agree with you. I think that they are important. And if you didn't agree, that's fine. I'm like, all right, we agree to disagree. But this dude kept coming at me, right? And I'm like, look, relax. It ain't like I'm going to show up at his house and force him to start using a bar with rotating sleeves. I'm like, why are you so emotional? Relax. You got to relax. But I still blame you, Jared. Anyway, so I said all that to say, what do you guys think about as far as wrist wraps and knee sleeves and belts and things like that? Do you guys use them throughout your entire training session? I know Michael Brantley, I saw, you put on elbow sleeves to when you're dumbbell benching and stuff like that. So I want to hear from you guys, because I'm just curious, like where and when do you guys use supportive gear? That's not assistance gear, but supportive gear in your training sessions. Like Rob, do you even use supportive gear? Like elbow sleeves, wrist wraps, and things like that. Do you ever use any of that stuff? I am curious about that. So put it in the chat. I want to know. I'm interested. Let's see what else. I thought there was another one. Okay. Yes, there is this. So I don't know if you guys saw this video. So this is simple and effective way to so let's say you're trying to do ab wheel rollouts and you want to get to the point where you can do them from the standing. This is how you progress, right? There are other ways, but this to me is the most efficient way. You just get I got that board from Home Depot. Shout out to Home Depot. Had them cut it. They cut a little bit off the end of it, and then that's pretty much it. And as you get stronger, you lower the bar, the safety bar, until you get to the point where you are doing it from the standing. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want to show you guys that there's actually a progression beyond that for those of you who can already do ab will roll outs from the standing. And that is, so I got the original idea for this from Ross Enright. And so let me show you this. So this is Ross. He's got, some of you guys are already familiar with it. This is Ross training. Is Ross training on, well, everywhere. Ross training on Instagram, Ross training here on YouTube. So this is one progression. You can switch to one arm. This is it. So Ross is a boxing coach, by the way. And if you do not follow him, you owe yourself to it. So here's the progression. Once you get to the point where you are strong enough to do this from the standing. All right. That right there. That's what Ross is. Then you reverse it around. All right. Now you're doing now you're doing it from a decline. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. And then when you get stronger at that, you see that he added a push-up into it. Right. So if you guys don't follow Ross, he is definitely worth the follow. And you guys might have seen me do that drill right there. That's a drill to it's a punching drill to strengthen your wrists for so they don't buckle when you're hitting the heavy bag or whatever. But yeah, shout out to Ross, man. I'm trying to see if we got other examples of him doing the ab will roll out. Yeah. Now here's another way. Use the furniture sliders. Those are actually that right there is something he made. He made those out of lawnmower wheels. So that's another modification for ab will rollouts is push-ups with it. Like I said, he's a boxing coach, so that's an eye-hand coordination drill. Some of this stuff we did when I was training to fight. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you all that because those are ways to progress your ab will rollouts once you get to the point where you are able to handle it from the standing. And if you can only do it from your knees, then the progression you need to be working towards is from the standing. It'll pay dividends. The stronger I got in ab will rollouts, the more my squat and deadlift went up. So there's that. Kenzie, what's up? Kenzie's gonna be on the show next week. Appreciate you getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Love seeing you, and I think this is your first time commenting live, so I appreciate you chiming in and jumping in the conversation. Kenzie said, when I was competing, Kenzie, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, used to play football. Actually, I don't know, do you still play football, Kenzie? But she used to play football. But I think this is about powerlifting. She says, when I was competing, I forgot the mouth guard I always wear, and I let my teeth grind together a little bit, lost focus, and fell forward in my squat. Oh, my God, yeah. That's so sad. Oh, heck yeah. Like even the little things that, like, if it throws you're out of your comfort zone, it'll throw you off completely. So yeah, I'm like, if you're gonna, you need to spend, I would say 80% of your training needs to be similar to what you're gonna do on the platform. Then you need to have maybe 10 to 20% that's gonna be in case something bad happens. You know, whatever it is. So if I'm getting ready for a meet, I actually ask people to come in, you know, my family. I'm like, hey, come in and interrupt me, you know, because that, so I mentioned earlier, no matter how well run a powerlifting meet is, something could happen, right? That would delay you. I've seen people like I don't use knee wraps, but I've seen people wrap their knees. And if you wrap your knees correctly, you can only have them on for so long and your toes start to go numb, right? And you can't feel your feet. Well, I've seen people wrap their knees and then something go wrong with the lifter ahead of them. And then they end up stuck with knee wraps on for too long. So then you got to unwrap your knees and calm back down and then get ready to go again. Like it can throw you off. So there's I call it like the Michael Phelps effect because when he was competing in the Olympics, his coach used to do stuff to him on purpose, like take his cell phone and hide it. Any little thing to throw him off because he's like, when we get to the actual Olympics, I want you to be able to handle any negative thing that happens that day and still be able to go out there and perform. So you need to be able to do at least 10 to 20% of your training needs to be for what if something bad happens. But I would say 80% of your training needs to be for the purposes of optimizing your performance, and it needs to be under optimal conditions, because that's where under optimal conditions, number one, it's easier to track progress if you keep everything the same and then you change only like one variable. For example, you go up in weight. Well, if you go up in weight and you had a bad day at work and you did all this, you helped your neighbor move the day before, and you know what I mean, you can't tell if you're making progress or not. So that's my little rant. Jameson said, prior to my first knee and foot injury, I never used supportive gear. Now I only use knee sleeves for squat days. Okay. All right. Carp said he probably means like the Kabuki Cadillac, the Fringe, or the Bell's Arch Nemesis bars. Well, yeah, I get that, but I pulled up the Bell's Steel Arch Nemesis, and it is a Swiss bar. It is. I understand that they are curved, but they're not technically speaking a cambered bar. Because, like, okay, for example, a Buffalo bar is a curved barbell, but it's not a cambered bar either. Let's see here. Michael Brantley was talking about Ross stuff. He said Ross Intimate has good core work. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you watch, so Ross grew his YouTube channel by putting up motivational video montages, and that video I just showed you guys was a recap of his training from 2018. So it's an older video. Carp said the Rogue NG4C or NG4CN is like the Kabuki Arch Nemesis, but it's got rotating normal barbell sleeves. Yeah. Okay, so Kinsey does still play football. She said her first game is May 3rd. Okay. All right, so yeah, that's gonna be part of the discussion when you come on the show May 9th. So Kinsey's gonna be coming on the show. I said next week, I'm sorry. Kinsey's coming on the show May 9th. So you guys, that I can give a shout out to Carp and those of you guys who will watch Kinsey's channel and letting her know that I want her. First of all, you guys put her on my radar, so I became aware of her channel. And then I appreciate you guys letting her know that I was going to reach out to her, because really that's how it worked out, so that she's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. So shout out to you guys. Like I said, this show works because of my live audience. Now, I shout out to all of you who are watching on replay. I got a special place in my heart for the replay gang. Keep on doing what you're doing, and I still love seeing your comments on the replay gang. Put your comments in the comment section. But I still would love it. If you always watch this on replay, I still want you to come join us live at least once to just see how, because it's a completely different vibe. It's a completely different vibe watching live and being able to interact live. I'm telling you, once you start watching live and you experience it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, replays are like the second option from now on. I'm telling you. Carp said the old standing bench press, people forget overhead press was first. Oh yeah. Well, because nowadays, especially like, your high school, college, your average gym bro wants to know how, they find out you work out, they want to know how much you bench, which is, I mean, that's fine. I still like, the bench press, but it's not the world doesn't rise and fall on the bench press, and I enjoy lifting history as well too. Jameson said we need another free for all Friday before Home Gym Con. Oh heck yeah, I don't mind doing that. We can do it the week before Home Gym Con, because that'll be good, because then you guys can come on and we can talk about like what you're excited about what most excited to see, that kind of thing. By the way, another brand that's going to be on here soon is Body Solid. Scott McDonald's going to be coming on the show. This will be Scott's first time on the show live. He's been on before, but it was a recorded interview. So this will be his first time coming on live. And so that's coming up in the coming weeks. So you guys stand by, keep an eye on that. Now, let's see here. This next one actually comes from LinkedIn. And let's see here. I'm going to have to pull this up. Because when Ashton said this, I was like, you know what? He's got a good point. He's got a point. So Go ahead and pull that up. So this is from my guy Ashton Ferrazzo from Freedom Fitness Equipment. And if you are on LinkedIn, you definitely need to follow him because he puts out some thought-provoking stuff like this. He may have put this on Instagram as well, but I saw it on LinkedIn. So he said, who's the first company that tariffs are going to take down? I can tell you one thing. It's not going to be companies who manufacture the majority of their products in Vietnam or Taiwan. Those companies are relatively protected from the 145% tariff rates in mainland China, where the majority of equipment is currently produced. And he said, he asked, why haven't our not just home gym equipment manufacturers in general, said, why haven't our manufacturers diversified their supplier network? He says, I have no idea. I thought COVID taught everyone a lesson. Evidently not. Are there any companies you know who have diversified their supply chain? So I think Matthew dropped off because he was watching on LinkedIn. But if you're still here, Matthew, I'd love to hear from you about this. But my answer to him was I agreed. And I said, this is one reason why I have a good feeling about the potential for success of companies like QLI Fitness. So you guys may or may not have seen my booth tour with QLI Fitness from HFA last month. And so first of all, I'm reasonably certain that I was the only home gym content creator there who was actually making video content. I think some people posted pictures, maybe like a Instagram reel or something, but Garage Life is the only content creator brand that was there that did long form videos, right, for the home gym community. And I didn't even see a whole lot of mainstream media outlets there doing long form like video booth tours and things. Now the HFA themselves, the Health Fitness Association themselves, they had their in-house media going around and doing interviews because like they interviewed X-Master after I interviewed him. But in general, it was just us. I say that to say I spoke to QLI and I saw that the other home gym content creators who were there saw them, but they were like, this is mostly commercial stuff. And I think that the reason why, well, for one thing, they reached out to us and asked us to come by and do a tour. But the reason why I agreed is because I remember, like I was telling Isaac, like I started my home gym before Rogue Fitness existed. So just think about how far back that is. All that was available if you wanted actual safe, like equipment that was durable and safe to use, is you had to buy commercial stuff, right? So I'm used to looking at commercial equipment and kind of saying, oh, that would work in a home gym and that wouldn't work in a home gym, right? And so I was able to look at QLI Fitness and say, oh, I see the potential. Now, they only had one piece of equipment that was specifically a home gym focused thing. And it is, what's this gadget called? It's, I forgot what it's called, but okay, yeah, this is it. It's their fold away strength trainer. For those of you who don't remember what it is, this is it right here. It's their fold away strength trainer. So it looks like that when it's open, and then you can actually fold it closed. And I've got a video, as I said, that was we got a video on the channel showing them talking about it. It actually comes with a bench that integrates into it. So it's I think it's got a lot of potential, especially if you're in a space challenged home gym space. But the point is they're based out of Vietnam. And I saw their stuff. It was well designed. It was sturdy, durable. But most of their stuff is commercial equipment most of the stuff they had at HFA was commercial equipment because that's the crowd, right? I think that if this tariff thing ends up being something lingering, and I see that our president and the prime minister, the China, they're having continuous talks. So whatever. I don't want to get political, but how long this all lasts is anyone's guess. If it lingers, though, I think that the solution, or not a partial solution, is to start doing more sourcing of equipment from Vietnam. I mean, we already get like Michael Brantley gets his t-shirts from Vietnam. If you don't believe me, just go to his Instagram. Let me just prove it. All right, I want y'all to see. Michael Brantley tried to tell me that we're going to react and respond to this too. Because this dude tried to make me believe that this is a large. Okay. Let's just go down here. All right. Yeah. All right. He tried to make me believe. Remember, I was in the Marine Corps, all right? So I've seen the Navy a lot, right? And he's talking about this is his, this is what he, his loadout when he was on shore duty and he was going to go work out at lunch, right? And I just said, well, I believe you neglected to mention the Schmedium skivvy shirt. That's a skivvy shirt, the shirt he's got on, right? This dude tried to tell me, can't help it that larges fit me like that. Don't hate the grind, hate the shirt manufacturer. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a Vietnamese large, okay? Ain't no dang way. Look at that. That's a Vietnamese large, okay? That large was made in Vietnam. I don't even need to see the tag, okay? So, hey, Dennis, what's up, my man? Home Gym Tag Support in the building. Good morning. Says good morning, fam. Good morning, Dennis. When your schedule calms down, I need to get you on the show because Dennis is going to be going to Home Gym Con for the first time this year. And I'm excited to see him. He's actually going to have a booth there as well. So he's going to talk about the projects he's got going, including one that he's doing to help veterans that I'm trying to figure out how to describe it quickly. Basically, he wants to help veterans use a home gym as a way as a mental health, as a thing for positive mental health, not just to get in shape. Let's just say it like that. But that's going to be one of the things that we talk about. Oh, okay, yeah. I was tripping. So Kevin from Home Gym Gains said, "Home Gym Tech Support, what's up, brother? I love that name. Haha, where were you when I was assembling the RitFit BLP01? LOL." So, side note, Dennis has actually done that for me. Like I've had him on FaceTime. Like, hey man, we can't figure out how to get this cable because that's what he does, And I'm like, hey man, we need pointers. Help me out. Let me get help us get this cable run. And then he actually did the same thing, helped my son out, my oldest son out, with a prototype that was sent to him. By the way, he was able to get it all put together, Dennis. So he's all set. He's good to go now. But appreciate your help. So Dennis said that the concept is he's got a reality YouTube show to help veterans combat mental health, but it's going to be within the context of a home gym. So it looks like Home Gym Gang Kevin just subscribed to you, so there you go. This seems like the Dean made an awesome post. Apparently he makes dumbbell carts. Did anyone ever know that? I've heard that before. I've heard mention of Dean making dumbbell carts. Yeah. All right, yeah, so see, like Dennis, you came on the show for less than 5 minutes, already got a new subscriber. Bam, look at that. That's what we do. We change lives. All right. But yeah, why do you guys think that, do you guys agree with me that maybe we're going to start seeing more made in Vietnam fitness equipment? Or do you think that's not going to be, because I mean, like I said, they're mostly tariff proof. I mean, there are tariffs on them because there's tariffs on anything that comes in the U.S. But I'm just saying, do you think that the Vietnamese exercise equipment community is going to start seeing more customers from outside, from around the world? And Kevin, I'm actually curious as far as where you are in Japan. Do you even know about QLI Fitness? Because if you didn't, you definitely need to check them out. I can put the link to their, if anybody wants it, I can put the link to their website in the chat. You guys can check them out. But they got a lot of stuff. Now you do have to kind of go through and figure out, hey, is this going to work for me? Because their primary focus is commercial stuff, but they do they do have home gym equipment. Because we've had people actually comment on the video with them, saying that they purchased stuff from them. So I would say they're a good resource to have. Boom. All right. And that shot's fired. I'm just saying, you got a small shirt. You a big dude in a small shirt, Mike. That's just the facts. You're a big dude. You're probably somewhere with a small shirt on right now. You're a big dude in a small shirt. I mean, I'm just saying, that's what happens when you still wearing the same shirt you got when you joined the Navy. Okay? You weren't the same size. Okay? You're like, I found a size I like, I'm sticking with it. Doesn't matter what happens with my body. Ain't nothing wrong with a medium. I'll tell you, I knew dudes. Now, you don't do this, I hope. But I knew guys, man, they would take their T-shirts and go get the sleeves of their T-shirts altered to be smaller. That is excessive. That's a bit much. This is when I was bouncing. Story time with Grandpa. This is back when I was bouncing in clubs, and the bouncers would want, their arms to look even bigger. So they would get their shirts, the sleeves of their T-shirts, the T-shirts that says security on them. They would go get the T-shirt sleeves altered to be slightly smaller so that their arms would look bigger. And I'm like, man, you're gonna tear your T-shirt sleeve, but to them that had been perfect. Dennis, I've lived a long time. I've seen a lot of things, man. Slimming sleeves, I'm telling you. I've lived a long time. I've been a lot of places. I've seen a lot of things. That's all I can tell you. Oh, that's crazy. And I noticed that nobody has answered my question about the Vietnamese equipment manufacturing. So I'm going to ask you directly. Home gym tech support, do you think that's potential? That has potential. Kevin, home gym gains, do you think that has what do you think about the Vietnamese products? Yeah, I'm asking you guys specifically because you I want to hear your perspectives from I want to hear from everybody, but I want to hear Dennis as someone who installs equipment, and then I want to hear from Kevin because you live in Japan. I just want to, and I know that you have to typically buy stuff from outside Japan. So I just want to know if Vietnamese products have been on your radar at all. Oh, this is something I hadn't thought about. So Jamison said, "Made in Vietnam may grow, but I'd be curious to see if Central American countries are explored, since the USA already has shipping lanes in the Gulf." Well, here's the thing, though, because with some of the Central American countries, there's also the fact that we're dealing with the immigration situation. So they're butting heads with the U.S. about immigration. So I don't know if President Trump would use that as leverage to get them to clamp down on illegal immigration from their end or not. So yeah. Eric said, well, their workers are all over here in the U.S. already. Okay, yeah, there you go. All right, guys. We are at the 8 8:49 mark. Going to be ending the show today right at the 9 o'clock hour. So we've got about 10 minutes left. So we got just enough time for the final segment, which is you pick the topic. So whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's home gym, home fitness related, I'm open to it. Anything you want to bring up, I got no agenda. Is it whatever you've seen recently on Instagram that I may not have seen? Go ahead and let me talk. We can talk about it briefly. I am open to hearing from you guys. This is if I don't get any responses on this one, like if you guys don't have anything that's like kind of burning on your mind, then we'll just move on. Here we go. Hold up. So Dennis said, I think sourcing from different countries is going to happen. Just from a lazy perspective, I don't want things to change because sourcing repair parts is difficult enough. That is something I had not thought about. The fact that you've got to get the parts to repair these different machines, which means you got to be able to get them from overseas too. So I think that so in the case of QLI, I want to say that they've got a U.S. warehouse now. I think they've got a warehouse in California because I believe they mentioned it when I interviewed them. But let me make sure. I think California. All right, so it does pop up. Okay, so yeah, they have a warehouse in Paramount, California, wherever that is. But yeah, all right. So they do have, so their warehouse in California is open. I just wanted to make sure. And so that's something, I think that is where the sweet spot's going to be for you, Dennis. If something is made overseas, but they've got a warehouse here in the States, then that would be where you would have to get products. I'd say if you get something made overseas and there's not a US, like they don't have parts in the US, you probably don't want to get that thing because as soon as it breaks down, you kind of like like even if it's so. Let's say I buy something from Nicaragua. I don't know why I picked Nicaragua, but whatever. Let's say I buy something from Nicaragua for some reason, right? And something goes wrong with it. If I got to order replacement parts from Nicaragua, that's going to be a headache for me. So I don't want it. So that is something that I would probably ask before I order the product. Like, hey, if I need a replacement part, is it going to be here in America? Because think about it. Now I got to wait for the replacement part to get there, which is it's already going to be long enough if it's in the US. You know what I'm saying? Michael Brantley wants to talk about the fitted t-shirt hate that's going on in the world. All right. Let's go and look at examples from a random source. And that is your Instagram. So I'm not saying now Mike is a big dude. Okay, I mentioned that already, right? Mike's a big dude. Look at this. Even in this picture, this is a polo, right? Look how tight that shirt is. Look how tight that shirt is, man. I ain't hating on you. I'm just pointing out that you a big dude in small shirts. Let's look. All right, we're not going to look. We're going to be fair. Let's see if we can find anything you own that is loose. There's a hoodie. Typically, the hoodie's tight. Okay. Let's try something else. All right. That looks pretty tight too, Mike. That looks pretty tight as well. Let's keep going. It's a pretty tight hoodie. It's not looking good. That's not looking good for your case, Mike. Look, Dennis was in the Navy and he can't support you. All right? I'm just telling you, you got a lot of tight shirts. You're a big dude in tight shirts. Okay? Let's go. But I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair. All right. This is the loosest shirt. This is the loosest upper body garment I've seen you wear so far, and it's a tank top. Now, because I'm not hating on, I'm like, look, you built your body up and you got it looking the way you want to. I don't blame you. All right. I did hear that the pastor asked that you start wearing a shirt to church, because you're causing issues with the rest of the congregation. But everywhere else, if you want to be bare chested at the grocery store, I don't care. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So your graduation gown seems to be fairly loose. Now, that's the tightest graduation gown I've ever seen. But that's the loosest garment I've ever seen you wear. And that's the graduation gown. Let's look down. Let's keep going. What else you got? Look, you did the AI thing to show, how it shows like a fake action figure. Look how tight the shirt is on your AI action figure, man. That's it. I rest my case. Your shirts are tight. You're a big dude in tight shirts. And I ain't mad at you. Just wear a shirt when you go to church. But other than that, I don't care if you don't wear a shirt at all and just paint your chest different colors to make people think you changed clothes. You know what I mean? I don't care. That's on you. Be comfortable, man. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said when they asked him about why he doesn't wear baggy clothes, he said, if I buy a Mercedes, I'm gonna drive it fast. I'm gonna show it off. I want people to see what it can do. So hey, do your thing, man. Do your thing. I'm just saying. That's a tight shirt. Those are some tight shirts. I'm not telling you I don't have any tight shirts. I got shirts but I don't wear them. I don't wear tight shirts. Now granted, I'm not in the shape you're in, but even when I was in tip-top shape, my shirts weren't super tight. But that's me. You're a tight shirt dude. And you gotta be who you are. Be true to who you are, Mike. And you are, I wouldn't even be talking about this long if you hadn't brought it up. Be true to who you are. And if who you are is a dude who wears tight shirts, then wear those tight shirts and wear them proudly. Okay? Because I'm not just proud of you, I'm proud with you. All right. Next week we have a packed show. Jake from Garage Gym Radio will be joining us to give us a Home Gym Con update. We'll also have Ari Kimmel. I better learn how to say my man's name before he comes on the show. Ari Kimmelfeld from Trade My Stuff. And for those who don't know, Trade My Stuff is a brand that Ari started where he was buying, refurbishing, and selling used Pelotons. Started in New York, and now it's grown. So I'm excited to talk to him about the used equipment market, especially as more and more people are pivoting to that while we wait, to see what's going on for the dust to settle with the tariff situation. Make sure you guys. Oh, we got one more comment. Hang on before we go. Jameson said, Bells will still offer discounts if we bring stuff down in our trunks to take to their indie distribution. What? I don't exactly understand that. I don't understand what you mean. I understand Bells will still offer discounts if we bring stuff. What do you mean by down in our trunks? You talking about like in your swimming trunks? You telling me you're gonna be in your swim trunks at Home Gym Con? I'm afraid to ask, but I'm gonna ask. Like, what do you mean, Jameson? Give me some clarification on that. Yeah. Anyway, but as I said, we're gonna have Jake from Garage Gym Radio next week. He's gonna be giving us a Home Gym Con update. We're gonna have Ari Kimmelfeld from Trade My Stuff. The week after, we're gonna have Coach Kinsey from the Kinsey. What is Kinsey's YouTube channel? Carp, what is Kinsey's YouTube channel? You said it's an up and coming YouTube channel. I should know. I subscribe to it. Let me see. Heck, Kinsey, you know, what's your YouTube channel called? I'll put the link in the description. Now I'm looking for the Kinsey. Oh, I made it to at Capex Home Gym Lab. There we go. Yeah, I will. I promise I would put it in there. So here, I'll put it right here. It's in the live chat. There you go. All right. So May 9th, we're gonna have Kinsey from Capex Home Gym Lab YouTube channel on the show, and so we got a lot of stuff coming up. I told you Scott McDonald's coming up from Body Solid, and that will be in. Let's see, when's Scott coming? Scott's coming up May 16th. Yeah. So Scott from McDonald's, CEO of Body Solid, he's going to be on the show on May 16th. So we got a lot of moving parts, got a lot of good content coming up for you guys on the show. Shout out to the West Coast. Thank you guys for waking up way too early with Garage Gym Life. I hope all of you who watched the show today had a good time. I hope you enjoyed meeting Isaac and Anna. Sorry we had the technical difficulties from their connection. Can't really do anything about it, but I did enjoy hearing from them. I thought it was good content, and I encourage you guys to go and subscribe to their channel. Shout out to, there's still 1,300 of you guys, over 13 of you guys watching right now. Do me a favor, one more time, help the show out. Click the like button for me and hit subscribe if you have not already done so. Help us keep on growing the channel, okay? But in the meantime, I want you guys to have an excellent week. I cannot wait to see you guys next week when you get up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Peace out.